Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Oh man, Sam Seder is back for more, and I think this man has some type of humiliation kink. I do not know why he continues to do this. Actually, I do know why. He's going to clip farm this entire podcast and go back to his sycophant audience and just pick out the parts and be like, look how awesome I did, when the rest of the world is going to be able to see what I'm about to show you guys, that it's not awesome at all. So we got Morty here. Welcome to my co-host. Of course, guys, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. And if you check out that swole goal at the top of the chat, we can get him some peanut butter. So yes, he was on PBD, the Valuetainment podcast with the crew. And let's just dive in because Sam Seder gonna Sam Seder. As always, guys, if you can't hear the video, please do let me know.
Sam, question for you. From the last time you were here, I think it was 2 years ago, that it was, give or take 2 years ago. At the time, it was probably a terrible season for Trump, I think we can say. Trump wasn't having a lot of victories. Trump was at a very low. Republicans were not convinced that he could go. Republicans were thinking it's probably going to be DeSantis or it's going to be somebody else. There was a bit of a split in the Republican Party and the MAGA. Like, I don't know. Even when he opened...
I wasn't sure when Sam was last here, but, you know, DeSantis was still in the picture then a little while ago, but not too long ago.
Up his announcement that he's running at Mar-a-Lago, there was not a lot of people there. People saying, I don't even know, this person wasn't there, that person wasn't there, this person wasn't there. And then you get these CNN polls. Rob, if you can pull up the CNN video showing where the Democratic Party is at today.
Hey, shout out to Holly. Welcome to the party. Starting us off with our swole goal with the $2. And hey, $2 makes it. $2 counts. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much appreciated. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Welcome. Indeed, we gotta feed the puppers. That's the only way he eats. He doesn't eat outside of this, guy, so it's all on you. Welcome. Thank you so very, very much. We also got Ty Cobb in the building. Said PBD is a bigger show than Seder, in my opinion. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to point that out to me because I definitely disagree with that. However, you know, BBD is not necessarily the most morally clean guy there is, but Seder is just ugh. But welcome to the party. We also got King Nirvana. Welcome. And our boy T, the Viewerski, saying, Hail Morty. Thank you so very, very much, guys. And of course, we do have our running poll. Does Sam Seder actually believe what he says? King Nirvana said he believes 10% of it. What do I back that up with? Just a feeling. Just like Sam. Welcome to the party, guys. Very good to see you. Again, if you have not already hit that like button and you're not already subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Let's party.
Play this clip, and I want to ask you, Sam, what happened to the Democratic Party? Go for it.
They failed.
Toledo, voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse.
My goodness gracious.
And these numbers.
And this is the number right here really driving all of this. If Democratic voters have turned on Democrats in Congress and the Democratic Party, that's what puts the numbers at historic lows. What is it they want to be seeing, these voters?
What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. They don't like what's coming out of some of those Senate Democrats like Chuck Schumer, because take a look at the direction of the party. Democratic voters on Democrats in Congress doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at this, 77%. Should stay principled, even if it means nothing gets done in Washington, D.C., 65%. And this 65% is such a difference from where we were in 2017 at this point, when just 33% of Democrats stated should stay principled, compared to 59% who said they want to compromise. Democrats do not want compromise at this point. They want a fighter. They want to go into the ring like Muhammad Ali did against Sonny Liston. They want to.
And they're going to send Pete Buttigieg in their way. I joke. Ty said they're both reprobate. I don't know if I've ever heard that word. I don't know what that means. PBD just has his high horse tricked out. Okay, I'll take it. But I mean, between the two of them, I still am going to take PBD over Sam Seder.
Want to take down the Republicans. They do not want this compromise anymore. They want to be more like Republicans, can get up to that stage and fight. And right now they feel like their leaders in Congress are simply not doing so. And that is why their approval rating for congressional Democrats is at all-time low, even among Democrats.
Rob, if you want to pause that. Sam, what happened? What happened to the Democratic Party?
Well, I should start by saying I always thought that Trump would be the nominee. And 2 years ago, I was wondering why Ron DeSantis was lighting his career on
To be fair, I do remember him having that position.
fire by trying to run against Donald Trump, to be honest with you. I think, Trump and the Republican Party, I think they're one and the same. And so that doesn't surprise me. Those numbers are some of the most encouraging numbers I've seen in the 20 some odd years I've been doing this, because I want to see it communicated to Democratic leadership that we want you to fight. And
that is a very interesting way to look at the fact that everybody hates your party. Oh, this is good. This is good. We actually wanted this because now what?
And I've been riding Chuck Schumer for, 10 years, trying to get him. I mean, Harry Reid was a great, I think, as far as they go, leader of the Senate for Democrats. But I think it's time for new leadership in the Democratic Party.
I think we can all agree on that. Shout out to Liberty Plus TV. Welcome. So I'm so ashamed that my news consisted of Sam Seder and the Young Turks at one point. I was right there with you, brother. I was right there with you. But as a PBD is directly going to tell him, his news is for children. So when we were children, it made a lot more sense. Welcome to the party.
And this is not even ideological from my perspective. I think there are Democrats that I agree with and Democrats that I disagree with on an ideological standpoint. But I think a different generation of Democrats understand that the Republican Party is intransigent. There is no negotiating with them. I think the biggest mistake that Joe Biden made was following the American Rescue Act, which was a massive boon to the American public.
Whatever it is, it didn't give enough money to the people. So are you saying you're not subscribed to the majority report, but interested in the rhetoric? Because I'm subscribed to the majority report. I like to see, I don't know why I said necessarily. I don't usually watch the actual content. I will look at, what types of things, they title their videos and stuff. And if it's something that I feel like, is going to be demonstrative of their bullshit, then I'll check it out. But yeah, not spending a lot of time watching Sam Seder. Shout out to TV Viewerski with the $10 PayPal. Said neither one of them will get a dime from me. Well, I will. Thank you so very, very much. And that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much. And again, guys, don't forget that I count, even though YouTube doesn't count these for the swole goal, I count these for the swole goal. So we are now 2 out of 10. $2 or more will get you 2 out of 10. 8 more, and I'm on the floor, and Morty gets his peanut butter. Thank you so very, very much, sir.
Cut child poverty by 45% in a year. I just want to repeat that. We cut child poverty by 45% in a year.
Compared to?
Because of that act when Biden first got in. And you know what Republicans were talking about?
Oh, so you're talking about the pandemic, obviously.
After we passed bills that cut child poverty in a year, that extended unemployment benefits, that provided food stamps, that provided health insurance, Republicans were talking about 2 books that the Dr. Seuss publisher decided not to publish. And so
I will go with Sam here. This was a faux pas on the part of, the general right. When a lot of the icons were being changed, like the Uncle Ben's rice or Aunt Jemima, things like that. They were changing things or pulling products. It was the Dr. Seuss company, whatever. I don't know if it's the Dr. Seuss company, whatever the company is. They were the ones who decided to pull their books because of what they thought was, anti-wokeness or something. But that was not a pressured campaign. neither here nor there at this point, but gotta call a spade when he's right. He's right.
That the Dr. Seuss publisher decided not to publish. And so in my mind, the Republican Party there is completely bankrupt of ideas. And Joe Biden, instead of pushing through Build Back Better over that summer,
hence why we are here.
he opened the door for the Republicans to give a proposal. That went nowhere for 3 months. Then he opened the door for Kristen Sinema and Rob Portman to come in and give a proposal. And that ultimately, I think, is when Democratic voters started getting impatient with Biden.
And guys, just so you know, we're not going through the whole podcast. As you can see, we are just going through the clips because I like to check the clips to make sure we are getting good stuff from them. But they do a long podcast. We wouldn't be able to cover the whole thing anyway. So we're going to cover all the good stuff. We're starting out slow. This was the second clip that they posted, but I was like, all right, let's start here and everything will ramp up.
Because we were thinking $5 trillion, $4 trillion. Joe Manchin was saying $6 trillion Build Back Better bill. And we never got anything like that. It ended up getting split into the IRA, which was a good bill, but I think insufficient. And then infrastructure stuff, also important, but insufficient. And so I think what you're seeing is frustration from Democratic voters who are saying, A, you're not fighting. B, you're allowing the Republicans too much opportunity. And C, we need more government intervention.
Do you
So far, we're about 15 minutes into my stream, and I haven't really picked on any of the points that Sam has made so far. I wonder how many comments this video, this stream is going to get after the fact of people saying, what? Sam Seder, without even having watched what I've said.
think it's more that they're not fighting, or do you think that their policies are simply bad policies and they're not landing?
Both.
No, I think it's that they're not fighting. What are the policies?
So tell me what policies are, like right now, the Democratic Party. Who is the face of the Democratic Party, and what are the top 3 things you guys stand for?
Well, I don't think there is a face of the Democratic Party at the moment. I mean, Chuck
Okay, agreed again.
Schumer is nominally the highest elected Democratic official that's out there.
That's not a good sign for you guys.
100%. I agree. I call for him to resign every day. I don't know that there is a single
thing that we stand for. Not a single thing that we stand for. On the left, we just have whatever position is convenient in the moment. We don't bother with principles and values. That's a Republican thing.
I don't think the Democratic Party has coalesced around an agenda. We're having there's a fight within the Democratic Party.
What would you like to?
Yep. Shout out to Blue Chunks. Welcome to the party. So this episode is from a couple days ago. The most recent one was Terrence Howard, which I haven't yet to check out. I think it'll be interesting, but I don't know necessarily if it's worth covering here. But yeah, relatively new. So this video itself came out a day ago. Relatively new. Welcome to the party, right? Yep. AOC, and AOC. Don't forget, Nancy Pelosi was on the list. And I've got a great side quest for you guys when it comes up. Welcome, Blue Chunks, to the party.
We're having there's a fight within the Democratic Party.
What would you like? Do you have someone you like that you would want to see, or do you want to see
No, I hate the entire Democratic establishment. That's why I can sit on my moral high horse, because everything that Democrats do are terrible, but I say that I don't align with them, even though I voted for them.
capitalistic, competitive philosophy of somebody just comes out and lets you who it is? Because if there is, even you right now, Sam,
capitalistic, I don't understand.
What I mean by capitalistic, like competitive. Let's just see who comes out.
Competition predates capitalism.
Yeah,
But,
so that's good. The competition is
yeah,
a good
no,
thing,
I mean,
right?
I think, obviously there's going to be a competition.
Is there anyone you like?
Well, I think there are policies that I like that are expressed by
That's not what he asked you. He asked you what people you like.
Sanders and AOC on their tour, their anti-oligarchy tour. I mean,
So notice he will get away from saying, I like Bernie Sanders, I like AOC. There's things that they have said that I like. If you think that is incidental, then you might be dumb.
that are expressed. Is
there anyone you like?
Well,
Anyone.
I think there are policies that I like that are expressed.
Policies
by,
I like. Policies I like. This is how squirrely this man is.
Sanders and AOC on their tour, their anti-oligarchy tour. I mean, obviously, I think there are other, policies that are floating around that I don't know that they're necessarily embodied in politicians yet. People are looking. There's a lot of stuff that Tim Walz did in in Minnesota that I think is great.
Putting the tampons in the bathroom.
He beat me to it. He beat me to it. The tampons in the bathroom.
In Minnesota that I think is great.
Putting the tampons in the bathroom, that was my favorite.
Shout out to Gabriel. Welcome to the party. This is relatively new. It's not the most recent PBD episode, but it is new. Welcome. I said it's funny because I'm not fond of either one of these men. Well, that's what I'm here for. We can hate them and love me. Welcome to the party, guys.
In the men's bathroom, that was probably one of the best ones. Putting that because that's type of policy that I think that we need in the country.
No, hang on. Tell me what Walsh did that you liked.
Substantially,
statistically, that Walsh did.
I think things like lunches for kids, expanding educational opportunities.
Like, okay, yeah, that's good, but it's like that's kind of basic stuff that we all agree on. That's not going to push that's not going to move the needle in terms of shifting the culture. But okay, yeah, free lunch for kids is great.
Lunches for kids, expanding educational opportunities.
Well, just to tie a bow on that, like I'm 35. When I was in school, kids were getting free lunch. So, like, if you're advancing that, then okay, great, I'll give you that. But if that's all you can say in terms of moving the needle on the culture, that ain't enough.
Wait a minute, there weren't lunches for kids? There wasn't federal money from the Department of Education? Free lunches for kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
There absolutely was.
What else?
No, let's go. I really want to hear it because a lot of this was federal money that floated. I really want to know.
Other states reject expansion of Medicare and Medicaid. I should say Medicaid in Minnesota. He provided for
expansion to who specifically?
We're working on it. We're working on it behind the scenes
through the ACA to people making 400% of poverty. He's got.
Wait a minute. Medicaid is designed, if I walk in with a broken leg to a public hospital, right, that Medicaid is there to take care of me if I'm destitute and unable to it. That's a good thing. And that's exactly the things that California did.
I'm 5'4". Thank you very much. I would tower over a 3'5" person.
And it was already there. What was expanded about that in Minnesota?
You're expanding the pool of people who can access Medicaid on a state-by-state basis. There's still, I don't know, half a dozen states, Republican states, that don't allow that expansion of Medicaid.
Okay, so fair enough. Maybe you're in Minnesota, not enough, or the limit for how much money you can make before you qualify for free lunch. Maybe that was too high. Maybe Tim Walz brought it down. Great. So what do you have about the Democrats that you like in terms of the national stage?
Okay, so
you're not aware of that?
So you can, yeah.
Are you not aware of that?
I'm absolutely aware of it. But what I want to ask you is, when you expand Medicaid, it is a fact that basically you close the public hospitals. And so what you're talking about, the things he did
That's not true.
Oh yeah. Ask Gavin Newsom. Ask him what happened to King Drew in Los Angeles. This is well documented. I'm stunned.
You can do a choice if you want to close.
So you just, again, another thing that is a pet peeve of mine: when someone gets proven wrong or a point is made against them, and they just slide right on by it. You know, that doesn't happen. And it's like, no, that absolutely does happen. Well, and we're just moving on.
So what you're talking about, the things he did
That's not true.
Oh yeah. Ask Gavin Newsom. Ask him what happened to King Drew in Los Angeles. This is.
So he said a thing. Then Sam says that's not true.
Well documented. I'm stunned.
Then he says it's well documented, and instead of addressing, oh no, actually, okay, you're right about that. Oh, I was wrong about that.
You can do a choice if you want to close a public. I mean, Andrew Cuomo.
You just lied.
Closed a lot of public hospitals in New York State. That's not a function of Medicaid payments.
You want to go take a look at California and King Drew and what happened? Gavin Newsom himself talked about it.
I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but
nobody asked. First of all, yes, you are. And nobody asked if you were a fan of Gavin Newsom. You said I don't even know what the claim is of their argument. You said that's not true. And he listed examples of how it's true. And now you're talking about whether or not you like Gavin Newsom. This is the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game. So it seems like you guys do think that Sam Seder actually believes the things that he says. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think that he has some terrible ideas. So we'll split the baby there. Stunned, shocked, I tell ya. Holly said, well, I'm 52, and if a kid showed up without a lunch, one of two things happened. We shared, or the teacher did. I agree with breakfast and lunches for kids who don't have them. So yeah, and maybe it is a relatively new thing as far as like our age group. But yeah, there was no yeah, I mean, it was just a thing. It was just a thing. It was very common that you would have reduced lunch or free lunch. You obviously your parents had to apply for it. But I remember being in elementary school, and my mom would never let me buy lunch, even on Pizza Fridays or anything. Like maybe once a year would I get to buy lunch. So I always had, you know, a sandwich and some Cheez-Its and a juice box or whatever. And I'd be so jealous. Looking at these kids are getting free food. Now, of course, obviously, I did not realize at that point that I was extremely privileged from, you know, having a doctor as a father. But it happened. It was there. Sycom said, the baby Jesus, I would pick you up and cradle you. What size doesn't matter. Well, certain sizes matter. Yeah, he definitely does. And I bet if they asked him, like, okay, you don't like Gavin Newsom? What if it was, well, obviously it wouldn't be Trump unless they do that. Let's say it was JD Vance versus Newsom. Who are you voting for? Obviously Newsom.
And King Drew, and what happened? Gavin Newsom himself talked about it.
I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but you're asking me about Waltz, and
no, we didn't ask about Waltz. You were talking. You said you like some of the things.
He
Waltz
asked me
doing.
what was in what I like about Tim Waltz.
Oh, you said you
and
like.
I wanted one of the specifics of the things that he did.
I said he's wrong. Canada has provincial medical that goes by how much you make a year, but everyone has access and there's no copay. I don't know what that's referring to, but good to know. Shout out to the unknown atheist. Welcome to the party. So we're gonna have tons of lunch programs at schools. Guess what? I used to buy half price lunch tickets from those kids on pizza and taco day. There you go. This is what sub 4 inchers say to cope. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't know. I've just used it, never taken it.
What I like about Tim Waltz.
Oh, you said you like.
I missed this. King Nirvana said he thought he was having a debate with, he thought he was having a Dave Smith moment when Dave says he's not a Republican in debates. This wasn't that, Samuel. This wasn't that.
Talking. You said you like some of the things.
He
Waltz
asked me
doing.
what was in what I like about Tim Waltz.
Oh, you said you
and
like.
I wanted one of the specifics of the things that he did.
Right. Okay. So, but
and you came up with free lunch, which already existed. Maybe he expanded it. Sure, great. But the discussion was about what your party is doing to fight against the MAGA movement and the right.
I wanted one of the specifics of the things that he did.
Right. Okay. So, but
I'm a gay fish.
Continue with the following, Sam, if you don't mind, because this is what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
So one, the Republican Party, like you said, I knew 2 years ago that Trump would be a DeSantis, all this other stuff.
Right.
We were on the same page. I thought it was going to be him. But a lot of Republicans were a little bit still staying safe and hesitant of whether they were going to go all in or not the first time you and I spoke. But today, when I said, who do you like? What policies? You said, I like what AOC.
Well, about the hospitals. Okay. So yeah, he was saying the hospitals closed down. Holly was saying Canada, but is that what they're talking about? I thought they were talking about it here. I don't know. Where possibly did he get that mug? We'll come back if it comes back up. We'll go through it because this is again more of the introductory stuff. I want to see the blood.
You said Sanders, anti-oligarchs, all that stuff, right?
I have a different, I think, way of looking at politics maybe than you do. It's not for me. Like if a candidate emerges who embraces.
I was thinking Taco Tuesday. We don't have a burrito Wednesday.
A wider set of my preferred policies. That's the one I'll support. I don't really get too involved in the individual, frankly. I mean, Joe Biden was not my favorite candidate by a long shot in 2020. The fact,
but you still voted for him,
that there were coalitions built out of Warren and Sanders supporters that ended up bringing us a much better set of labor policies than we've seen in my lifetime, from my perspective. with the National Labor Relations Board, with just the appointments of people like Abruzzo as the general counsel there, the extension of unions' ability to unionize and helping working people in that way, and then the antitrust regime that was largely a function of like the Warrenites putting in their people to undermine big concentration of money and power. Those are big positives. So, do I like Joe Biden? No. But I also know that if there are the right coalitions formed that have influence within the context of an administration, that's good from my perspective.
Got it. But to me, like running a business or politics, right? Or it shifts when people all of a sudden look at you and they say, I don't like these ideas anymore. So in the Democratic Party, you have a lot of different people that would have different policies. Hey, I think we should do this, and I think we should do that. Great. Obviously, it didn't land November 5th, 2024, whether it was Kamala Harris, whether it was the policies, whether it's 7 states you lose, battleground states you lose, whether it's the majority. It was a bad loss. It was a humiliating loss. One could
Guys, hit the poll. Is 4 inches of taco or burrito? Discuss.
say it was Kamala. One could say it was Obama. One could say it was Biden stepping. One could say it's Schumer. One could say it's Pelosi. Let's set that part aside. To me, the most basic part is ideas. If someone has ideas that's producing results that people like, they want to continue that, right?
Pretty simple. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Holly again. Again, no question, no comment, just pure love of the puppy. I gave you small ones. I'll give you a little bit extra. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. And guys, that's 3 out of 10, 7 more. And Morty gets his peanut butter, and you see me doing push-ups on the floor. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Maybe that's up to your interpretation.
Right. And we watched, like, if I ask a Democrat, even right now, Ben, I ask you for 15 minutes, I still don't know if Democrats know what they're for.
Excessive and bonus are 2 very different things.
Like,
Well,
what
I'm
are
not,
their
I'm
policies
not
for?
speaking for the Democratic Party. I can tell you what I'm for.
Tell me what you're for.
Oh, I am
Fair
for
enough.
universal healthcare,
Okay.
single payer healthcare.
Yep.
I am for increased.
With or without a private option? With or without a private option? Because with a private option, I'm not necessarily as staunchly against that. I do think that there is a way where universal healthcare, not free healthcare, can work as long as there is a private option. Not that I like it. I'm just saying it's still on the table. Only if there's a private option.
Universal healthcare,
Okay.
single payer healthcare.
Yep.
I am for increased ability to unionize. I am for
He loves you guys too. He loves you guys too. And don't forget, every donation comes with a treat.
decommodifying parts of the housing sector. I am for decommodifying power. I am for decommodifying access to the internet. I mean, those are my big ones right there. I
Who
think if
in
we
your
can,
party?
Okay, so let's dig into any one of those. How do we do that? That's where I would go with that. How do you do any of the things that you're talking about? Not saying that can't be done, just asking how you want to do them.
For that.
well, who in the Democratic Party is for that? I don't know that there's anybody who in our party who embraces all of those. I mean, that is a major political figure. I mean, I think I'm to the left of the Democratic Party.
Obviously.
But I think there are elements of what I want that are represented by people in the Democratic Party. I mean, I think having a very jaundiced eye to the overwhelming concentration of wealth and wealth disparity, I think is a fundamental problem that we have in this country. I think too much of what happens in this country is a function of the concentration of wealth. I mean, gets back to why I want to return back to the tax regime we had in the 50s and the 60s.
I agree with half, not the second half. I agree with the problem, not the solution.
Where the top marginal rate was 90% for every dollar above what today's money would be about $4 million. So, and just to explain this, because I've seen so many people on the right not understand marginal tax rates that it's almost disturbing. The first $1 million that you earn is taxed at 32% or whatever the prevailing rate is. The second $1 million, you earn 32%. The third, 32%, because I think that's the highest. Maybe it's 37% is the highest. Once you get over 4 million, every extra dollar after that is taxed at a 90% rate.
That's what
Yeah, we know that. That's still a bad idea that nobody wants.
you want.
That is what we had in this country.
That's not the question. That's not the question. He said, is this what you want? Well, we had it. Just having his own conversation.
Is taxed at a 90% rate.
That's what you want.
That is what we had.
I agree, Hallie. At this point, the Dems need to sit down, open their ears, and cope.
In this country for several decades in the
But
post-World
why do you think
War.
that's good though? Because we talked
Because
about this. Why do you think
There
that's
you
good?
go.
I'll tell you, because it flattens wealth disparity.
Okay.
And that is when you have the greatest expansion of the economy.
Right.
When the wealth of the country is shared by as many people as possible.
Right.
Obviously, it's not everybody gets the same amount, but
Do you think that's a popular idea? Do you think 80% of Americans want that? Americans want that?
I
Or do you
think if
we-
I was to show Americans,
You've been showing for 20 years.
No,
though.
no.
I'm gonna say we all know what you think, Sam.
They put up a graph of income disparity.
Right.
You put up a graph of income disparity. Americans are shocked when they realize how much money is held by the top 1% in this country. Really?
Right, Sam. But that has to do with all of the regulations that allowed those corporations to get so far ahead. You want to add more regulations to try to force it back, the toothpaste back in the tube, where that's not possible. When we have things like the tariffs, then it's addressing the problem as we have it moving forward. And, no pain, no gain. Prices are going to shoot up. The stock market's going to dip a little, and then we're good.
Really? The top.
Underneath you said, I understand marginal rates, right? Those rates were when the U.S. was the only country not bombed into the Stone Age from World War II. And we manufactured everything for the whole world. We don't manufacture anything like that anymore. And exactly, the tariffs are meant to bring back manufacturing to America. So I have not listened to Seder. He reminds me of a Muppet who got axed and reappeared on the majority report. Pretty accurate.
Top 1% relative to the rest. I mean, like literally a handful of families have more money and more wealth in this country than 50% of the population.
How dare they? How dare they use the laws that your party has established to do such a thing? Let's continue with that party.
So many questions to that. For me, the question is the following. Here's where I'm trying to go with it.
You show that to 80% of Americans, and there's no questions. You could be like, "What the fuck?"
You know what?
I don't know if I
you know
can
what
swear
else you
on
can
it.
show?
Agreed, but your solution still sucks.
No, you can't because you're a guest. But you know
I
what
can?
else? You can. CAN.
Okay,
You can. You're a guest. So if somebody could go and say, okay, why don't you pull up?
So let's see what we've got here. So one person here represents 1% of families. So we're looking at how the 139.1 trillion in U.S. wealth was distributed in 2022. So most of it, 74%, was owned by 13 million families. Then we had the 24%, 52 million families owned, and 65 million. So we see a lot of poor people and a lot of rich people. Nobody is disagreeing with that. I love how everybody's like, wait, actually, I don't like PBD either. I just find that funny. So nobody's just going to disagree with the fact that this is not a good breakdown. Again, the question is, how do we fix it? It's not a fixed pie. This is the fallacy morons like Seder like to fall for. Meaning it chain the chain. Can you say more on that? What exactly do you mean? He's like, I agree, but I still think we can take a snapshot, unless I'm stupid.
And you're a guest. So if somebody could go and say, okay, why don't you pull up?
Hey, Mr. Boy Guam Tech. Welcome to the party. Is my favorite surface level leftist. He's here for you.
who pays the most taxes in America? The top 1% pays 50% of taxes in America. Okay. So you can give that argument. So to me, if we go back and forth, but this is the part I want to do with this specific argument, this specific idea, where I want to go with a guy like you, okay, is I think sometimes like the Democratic Party, you go to a message and you know how Trump tests things out. Yeah, Greenland, it's Greenland. Yeah, Greenland. It's going to be, so one way or another. We're not going to go to war, but one. Yeah, you know, a third term. I'm not talking about third term, but a lot of people are talking about third term. Yeah, Canada should just be a 51st state. Governor Trudeau. Trump will throw these things out there, okay? And then the market reacts to it. And the market will say, what is he talking about? And then I believe, this is how I do it as a business owner. You kind of, I'll be in front of, I'll never forget, one time I brought 9 of my guys and I dropped an idea on them. You should have seen the reaction on everybody. You know what the reaction was? They looked at me like I was high. They looked at me like I am on shrooms. They're like,
I've never experienced somebody looking at me like they think I'm on drugs. Never.
Pat, respectfully, these are terrible ideas. So you know what happens to a business owner? They're so used to coming up with bad ideas. What do? They move on with bad ideas. So to me, Trump gets up there and says, what do you think about this? And then he looks, he says, okay, what's the guy that I respect? Okay, this guy's pretty reasonable. What did he say? What did she say? Okay, let's move on to the Democratic side. Somebody like you.
But let
me just finish the point. I'll come to you. Trust me. I want to hear from you. To me, I feel like the Democrats, like you, okay, you have a voice. People watch you. You're an influencer in your community. And you actually have the ability to kind of go and help your community out, help your party out. There are certain policies that you keep pitching that is no longer popular, that's been exposed so many times, because what we learned, like the biggest part why some of the conservatives like the Doge concept and some of the Democrats that like the Doge concept is it's government wasted expenditure. Obama talked about it. Clinton's talked about it. People on the left have talked about it for many, many years.
TV's got a dip before we even get to the good stuff. Thank you so very much for coming through and sponsoring the whole stream. Very much appreciated. You have a good one.
And the average person watches this and says, okay, so after 4 million, you want to put the tax rate at 90%? Yes, I do. Okay, so all you're saying is that the government knows how to use my money better than free enterprise? I don't believe that.
Well,
so that's where the argument stops.
That's not the premise of why I want to do that taxation. I mean,
I think it is, but please enlighten us.
The government will redistribute the money. And
that's no longer a popular idea in America.
The government, guys, just trust the government is going to make sure that all the money that we give, let's just give them all of our money, and then have like some system where we don't even need money. The government just dictates what we need.
That's the part where you see the young Turks kind of growing and evolving and seeing some of the ideas that kind of is not popular.
I listen.
Shout out to Anna Kasparian that we were just talking about with Megyn Kelly. If you missed that video, go check it out.
The fact of the matter is government always redistributes money. It always redistributes money. Every government at every moment is redistributing money. The question is, which direction is that money flowing? That's it. There is no doubt.
Towards the government and towards the corporations that, by your own admission, are unequally and unjustifiably that far ahead. But not because they're evil, because of the democratic policies and regulations that have allowed them to get this far. They said the government will not redistribute anything. They will just spend it. Yep. I'm listening to him because PBD is about to lay into him. But why other people do, they're stupid, and he tells them what they want to hear, and that makes them feel better.
Governments redistribute money at every moment. The question is, which direction
are they at it?
What?
How successful have they been at it? How good are they at it? How much waste have they done with redistributing money?
Oh, there's no doubt.
I thought he was going to say there's no waste.
Out my mind. Like, look, we have a massive, massive military budget. And if you want to look for waste and fraud in government, that is where you go. That's where all the money is. Everybody knows it.
Not all of it, but yeah, totally agree. The DOD has way too much money. That's not a hot take, Sam.
There's an enormous amount of waste and fraud. They can't even get through an audit. How many audits has it been? Half a dozen? Social Security, and they can't pass a single audit.
I agree.
Social Security is audited all the time. Do you know how much money? Let's talk about this for a second. I watched the video.
So there can't be two situations where money's being wasted?
video of you guys on the plane down of when Elon Musk was in Wisconsin blowing up his whole brand, essentially. And he was on stage with a guy named
Is that a reference to the not Nazi salute?
blowing up his whole brand, essentially. And he was on stage with a guy named Garcias. You guys remember this video?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It was like 2 days ago.
Yes. The Social Security numbers spiking in the
It
last 4
was
years.
The Social Security
2.2
numbers.
million
yes.
new non-citizen Social Security
Yes.
numbers. Yep.
Well, I hope they pull it up because I don't know what they're talking about.
And the amount of misinformation from every single person,
Yeah,
all
right.
of you.
Exactly. How are you? No principles, just positions. If you're a leftist, you can say, I don't like this waste and fraud, but also I don't like the guy who's fixing the waste and fraud. That's totally logical from a leftist perspective.
You was astonishing to me.
What was it?
I
What was the misinformation?
I
that was
mean,
said?
well, I almost feel like we should go through the whole video.
This is coming
But
from
here
a
it is.
socialist.
No,
You
no,
know
no.
the
No,
level
wait.
of credibility you have as
Listen,
a
okay,
socialist.
yes.
A socialist.
This system that has never
Let me
worked.
listen to
But I
it.
want to hear it.
that
But I wanna
is
hear you.
anti-oligarchs.
But I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
We
I
wanna
want to
hear
hear
it.
it. Go for it.
First off,
I told you we were starting slow. Now
you
we're
seem to
picking
not
up.
understand that these
Oh, and this is now the second time that Sam Seder is going to say that PBD doesn't understand economics. All right, let's hear it.
first off,
Yeah.
you seem to not understand that these were not undocumented immigrants who were getting these Social Security numbers. They are non-citizens. Now, when you came to this country,
Yeah.
you were an immigrant. Your parents came legally.
Right.
He's still an immigrant.
Every single one of those people who got those Social Security numbers are here legally. They're not citizens, just like you weren't when you first came to this country.
Yeah.
You get a green card. Your parents get a green card. They go through a process.
Yeah.
So those 20 million people over the age of 150, they were not citizens, but they were here legally.
All of those people, and to understand, they got their Social Security
See your point.
card.
I really want to see your point.
Well, the point is, you referred to them as undocumented and illegal.
No,
you
no,
did.
I said
No,
non-citizen.
excuse me.
Don't say
Go-
everyone here. I
okay.
said non-citizen.
I
Correct yourself.
can't remember which one of you got it wrong. I
Yeah.
think you did.
Just be
right?
specific.
You're thinking, but I
We
don't-
can play the video and go through it, but
I'm still trying to get to the
I
point.
just want
What's
to
the
make.
point?
Well, the point is, they're not illegal. They're
Yeah.
not undocumented. They're all legal.
Right.
The expansion from that program, the EBE program,
Uh-huh.
which is enumeration beyond entry, was started under the Trump administration. The numbers have gone up because, yes, under Biden, as opposed to Trump, there was an expansion of people who were here, probably, I'm not sure.
A lot of illegals.
no,
10
excuse me.
10 plus million.
Not-
No, not a lot of illegals. I guess not. Sam Seder said it. Shout out to Funk Master General. Welcome to the party. So the Overlord Morty deserves our praises. Of course he does. Thank you so very, very much. And that is now 4, guys. One more, and we are halfway to our swole goal. Funk Master General, thank you so very, very much. Let's end this poll. I guess you guys say 4 inches is a taco. Fair enough. Let's dive back in.
People who were here, probably, I'm not sure.
A lot of illegals.
Excuse me.
10 plus million.
Not a single one of them.
Breaking
Not
number
a
of
single.
people
Hold on, you're
came
changing
in.
the subject now.
No, I'm not.
I'm
changing the
talking about
subject.
that video.
Yeah.
And every one of those Social Security numbers
Let me
that
ask
was
you a
handed
question.
out.
So
Let
how do
me
you feel
finish.
about we want 1 million people to support the Future Looks Bright here? We are
Alright,
getting
so
very.
I told you we were starting slow, and now we're gonna get into
How do you feel
it.
about the
now.
illegal immigrants
Hold
that
on,
came to us 4 years?
I will get to illegal.
You don't
I
care
will
about
get-
those people.
I will get to the
You cared
undocumented.
about children.
But you don't want
Yeah.
to talk about
Okay.
this, and I don't blame you because it's
No,
embarrassing.
but let me do a quick time
Every
out.
one
Let me
of
do a
those
quick
Social
time out here.
Security
Do a
numbers.
quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said
Shout out to Kelly Green in the building. Welcome to the party. If you, I always suggest, guys, if you come late, just come up with the live show. Because you've already missed what's going on. So if you want to catch the beginning of the show, you can catch that on the replay. Stay live and be part of the conversation.
let me do a quick time out.
Every
here.
one
Let me
of
do a
those
quick time
Social
out here.
Security
Do a
numbers.
quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said you don't want to talk about this. You just spun away from a question I asked you and you brought
No,
this
let
up.
me
You
finish
haven't
the
even addressed
video.
the question I asked
Let
you.
me
Wait a
finish.
minute.
We'll get to
The
the
point that I
illegal.
let's go back to what I asked you. I asked you a question that the money that's going in, Americans prove that they don't trust the government getting the money than free market, free enterprise.
I don't think
You
that's
never
the case.
addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People
Americans with
love
the
Social Security.
The
People love.
waste
Did not think of that, but hey. Dilly to you, sir. Good luck on getting there.
Enterprise.
I don't think
you
that's
never
the case.
addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People
Americans
love
with the
Social Security. People love
wasted
Medicare.
expenditure. What we learned with Doge. The American people said, Sam,
wait, old people love Social Security. Young people do not love Social Security.
Well, you taking our tax money and see what you're doing with it.
Elon Musk made that Wisconsin election of a referendum on Doge. To the extent that we've seen anybody vote on Doge, nobody heard the word Doge before November of last year. To the extent that we've seen a referendum on Doge, it just happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Florida, where the size of the win by those Republican congressmen was cut by 17, 20 points. I mean, this is a wipeout. And every Republican, you're going to see a difference in Republican lawmakers over the next year and a half, because anybody who was in a plus Trump 8 district or less is now starting to go like, wait a second. That's why Musk is being shown the door, supposedly. So get
the door into the White House? What are you talking about?
Getting back to my point about those Social Security numbers, they were given all to legal non-citizens. And every one of those cards, you can't vote, because I think you definitely said, and I think maybe you said, that this is a Democratic strategy to get voters. Hold on for a second. The Social Security card that they get literally says not legitimate for voting purposes. It is so that these non-citizens who are legal, just like when you came in, pay into the Social Security system and get, many of them never get that money back. So in addition to the undocumented immigrants who pay in $22 billion a year into Social Security and get zero back, these people pay several $billion in a year, and only if they become citizens, which most of them won't. Most of them will go back home over a period of time. They're here for temporary protected status. Maybe some of them are refugees and they get permanent citizenship. They won't get that money either. So every single thing of that video, this video here, was completely wrong that you guys did. It was fascinating to me, because I feel like you, at the very least, I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this,
unlike me,
was all wrong. And
so they're up there. So Sam, this was all a lie. These guys were up there just
of course it is. Of course it is. You can't trust them. Where's the source?
Completely bullshitting with all the numbers. Where he's saying that people in the government are blowing the whistles. He didn't want to say their names. He was giving them praise. And for Sam, for you to say that you care about the kids and the labor and all that stuff. We've had an open border for 4 years, and all the illegals, way more than 10 million, have come into this country. California, is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Okay, great. Even better. California. So the amount of money that we spent on illegals with housing and all that shit, and Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was?
Yep. I don't know, atheist said, what? Should any of us care what some asshole who voices shitty cartoons think? I actually just found out today that Sam Seder used to do acting. What cartoons did he voice? Because I would like to hear that. Fuckmaster General said Elon's contract is for 130 days. His time is almost up, so they're trying to make it like he's giving in to the mob or fighting with Trump. Take your pick. That makes a lot of sense. And so, all this unelected president, I didn't know about the 130 days. So all this, Elon was never elected. Neither was Fauci or Kamala, or, I'll go down the list. And this is what they're doing. Semantic obfuscation. This is what the woke do.
Was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Are you kidding me? Look at the. What do you mean the border wasn't open? Hold on. Did you smoke before you came in here? That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part.
Get out of here.
Sam, here's.
Hey, shout out to Arrow with the $2. Thank you so very, very much, guys. That is halfway there. We are halfway to not only getting Morty his peanut butter, but getting me on the floor for some push-ups to bulk me up. Look how fucking puny I am. I need you guys. Arrow, thank you so very, very much. Very much appreciated. Funkmaster said it's a standard contract for advisor roles like his. Yep. And I mean, yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense that they would want to twist it like that. Oh, that's right. He did name somebody or voice somebody at Bob's Burgers. I actually like Bob's Burgers, but I mean, I don't love it, but I like Bob's Burgers.
You know what I love about this?
That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part. Sam, here's the part when I hear this. Okay.
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying yesterday.
Gotta cut him off because you don't want to hear what he's about to say.
When I hear this, okay.
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying yesterday was a complete sack of lies, or just misinformation.
Be honest with me. The
immigration year over year over year.
Sam,
illegal immigration year over year.
The fact that you're saying the border wasn't wide open. How many deaths? How many deaths have happened? How many fentanyl deaths have happened?
Too many. Hey, shout out to Gabriel with the $5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much no question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Very, very, very much appreciated. And guys, that's halfway. Or with TV, we're past halfway. We're past halfway. That's 6 out of 10. 4 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you guys so very, very much.
How many deaths? How many deaths have happened? How many fentanyl deaths have happened per year while your freaking president Joe Biden was in office? How many? Hold on. How many Americans died just from fentanyl? And you're saying the border wasn't wide open? We've had the most illegal entry in 4 years in the history of the country.
Dude.
You're and this is why. Let me finish. And this is why your party sucks. This is why your party is at 29% approval 20%. Because you got 20. Thank you. Because all you guys do is talk shit and just go anti-Trump. You have no policies. You guys have no vision. You have no leaders. You're talking about oligarchs and you hate the oligarchs. Where do you think Bernie Sanders and AOC are going to get their money from? Their donors. Are you like, don't lie to yourself. For you to look and like, brother, you're talking about yesterday we lied.
AOC and Bernie Sanders don't take
hold on, ready for this?
People.
Just nicotine.
You're saying that we lied 2 days ago. You just lied, and you're going to look like a fool that the border wasn't wide open. Look at this chart. What does that chart say to you? What is that? What did Trump, when Trump was in, he was trying to close it, but your party was fighting it. It's unbelievable.
They should move the camera here because this is really where we want to see. But I think we're all familiar with the fight.
Unbelievable. How many illegals have come in the past 100 days?
But this is the part to just be very, just show the data. Illegal immigration, this is Wall Street Journal, is a bigger problem than ever.
Oh, no, that's
These
fake
5
news.
charts explain why. Go a little bit lower. That's under Biden.
He is. Look, he's chilling. Thank you guys so very, very much.
Trump got shot trying to show these charts. Literally.
This is October of 2023. Go to the next one.
A guy who was registered Republican.
Here's another
one.
Hold
on, wait, can I address what his
let me show the data,
was?
and then I want you to say what you want to say. Go a little bit lower with the data, Ron. No, because he said it's inaccurate. This is another one here.
Okay, well, go back up. Go back up to the.
And then go to the last one, Rob. Go to the last one, Rob.
Go to the top one here.
I mean, this is the numbers you're talking about.
Charts.
So this is you
start one by one. Go up.
Explain every one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can see that this is what constitutes illegal immigration. These are, if it was an open border, you would not have these numbers. You would not have the numbers to know when Title 42.
So border encounters annual. And this is the millions. So we saw 2010. So I'm going to think 20. Oh, we have right here. So we already saw that there was a big increase before COVID-19. There was with COVID, it actually went down. There was already an increase. Obviously, it was down because of COVID, and then just shoots up. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this.
Ends.
Yeah.
More people are coming to the border, and they're being put into a system. Period.
That's the best part about it.
And that's the
because
definition.
they were told to come. Sam, let me say something. When your president says come to the country,
just going to yell all the time?
No, I'm not yelling. You just give me facts.
Can I turn down his microphone? Because
you can. Yeah, just see which one he is. I think he's seat 3 or which one is it, Rob?
4. I don't like loud noises. I don't know what we're yelling about. Cope. Oh my goodness, Funkmaster again. With the $2 said Morty is the reason flowers bloom and stars shine. You ain't gonna get any argument from me. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. Guys, 3 more, and we have already hit the goal before the hour mark. Thank you so very, very much. Shout out to Bambi. said, how would he know the details when Dems have been screaming left and right about Elon's tech accessing private info? How would he have the privilege? How would he have privilege to see every one of those social security numbers? What an idiot! It doesn't matter. Again, as long as you can put that out there, then there's going to be people who are watching this who internalize it. That's his game. And you guys say he believes everything that he's saying. I certainly think he believes a lot of it. But stuff like this, I really don't know. It seems like, this is an opportunity to throw in some bullshit. I don't know. Either way, I don't know. But definitely an idiot. Welcome to the party. So they're total flibber gibbeting? What the hell does that mean? Liberty Plus TV said there's literally no border between Canada and the U.S. It's literally open. Yeah, I was watching. I just finished rewatching Silicon Valley, and they have one white dude and one Indian dude, and they're talking, and they're worried about something with immigration and somebody, and they go to the Indian dude, and he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm a citizen." That's the other dude, and he's Canadian, and the Indian dude's like, "You can't just walk in here." He's like, "I literally did. I literally just walked here." And yeah, MAGA's so much more supportive than the left. I mean, it's not even a question. Not even a question. C3.
Go ahead, lower that there.
And then the mic
right there. There you go. Is that good?
Is that good?
C2.
Oh, C2. There you go.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
Go ahead. Good. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So
you're still going to hear the truth, though. Go ahead.
No, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Can't turn down the truth.
No, you can't.
Open border would mean that we have no records of people.
I do. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Can't turn down the truth.
No, you can't.
Open border would mean that we have no records of people coming across the border.
Nope. Open border just means a border that is not closed.
The law in this country has been that if you put your foot in this country, it's an international law. It's a U.S. law. If you put your foot in this country and you apply for asylum, you are due a process to do that. 98% of those people who are then what you guys would call catch and release come back for their hearings. We are woefully understaffed in terms of like immigration judges, and that process is definitely broken. I would love to see more money spent in the processing of these people so that we can establish which ones, like your family,
like my family as well, illegal immigrants.
No, but came in through a refugee status. They weren't citizens on day one. They came in, they went through a process, and it's possible at that time. I mean, I remember, I was old enough to remember the Iran hostage situation. I remember
unlike the other people in the room,
the fallout afterwards. There may have been some form of temporary protected status, whatever it was at the time, that allows people to come in. Then they're assessed and processed. It's determined that, yes, their claim for asylum is appropriate or not, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're looking at there. As you scroll up on those other charts, you can see when Title 42 ends, which was only supposed to be an emergency situation Let's
see, do we have that label here? We'll just put that over here. So now we're illegal border encounters by demographic by group up to 200,000. So we have families and children, over 100,000. But of course, single adults, more than double. So it's not families just looking for a better life.
42 ends, which was only supposed to be an emergency situation that has to do with health. And you can't have it both ways. Either COVID ends or it doesn't end, the pandemic. And so people come in. There's no doubt.
And this is, so I know that now he's playing semantics. And I think it's worth pointing out that there is a time and a place to get into semantics in a debate. There absolutely is, usually at the very beginning. But, when a clarification is needed, like, I don't know, if you were to say someone is authoritative, to clarify what you mean by authoritative, if someone were to say, okay, I hear what you're saying, I would just like to clarify by asking, can someone be authoritative if they don't have any authority? That is when you're talking semantics. Outside of that, outside of trying to understand the message of what the other person is saying, then, digging into semantics is usually a cope and a deflection mechanism. Ty Cobb said, here we go. If April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring? It's not allergies. They bring Christopher Columbus. I haven't heard that one before, but I knew where you were going. Actually, I may have, but I didn't think of it at the time.
Either COVID ends or it doesn't end, the pandemic. And so people come in. There's no doubt. And that number on that chart that Musk had, under Biden, more people received temporary protected status. We had a problem in Haiti as the country is falling apart. You had people from Ukraine coming in because of obviously the invasion. These are all under temporary protected status. They all got social security numbers so they could pay taxes into our government and not necessarily get the services back.
Yes, and vote for Democrats.
No, they can't vote. Right. Those social security cards literally say on the card say you can't.
Oh, well, if it says they can't vote, then they can't vote. It's not like when they show their ID to. What does it matter what the card says if nobody's checking the cards?
Stupid. No, they can't vote.
Right.
Those social security cards literally say on the card say you can't use this for voting.
AOC said we don't have an illegal immigration problem. We have a documentation problem. That's what AOC said. So this is not something new. You know how when you talk about who's better at gerrymandering, the left or the right?
Republicans seem to be better at that.
The Republicans.
I know. I agree. Guess what? So it's not like they can fight it and say no, we're not. That's their reputation. They have it. They're better at gerrymandering. Strategically, they're better at doing that. But for you to sit here,
I don't have a problem.
May I make my point? Let me make my point.
Yeah.
When you sit here and you watch yourself when you're saying these policies and you spew out.
Am I dumb? The Nina Pinta Santa Maria. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. The Mayflower is a different thing than the Nina Pinta Santa Maria, right? That's what I was thinking. Either way.
And you watch yourself when you're saying these policies and you spew out these policies, what the average person does, they'll watch it. And if they've already outgrown it, because today the problem with, folks, content creators have today is the following. Say we say something on a video.
Nobody hits the goddamn subscribe button.
And we're wrong. You know what others will do? They'll react to it and they'll say stuff to it. And if we're right, they'll keep coming to us to want to hear more of it because they'll say, at least you sound reasonable. And they'll say, I want to hear what John has to say. I want to hear what Joe has to say. I want to hear what Megan has to say. I want to hear what, whoever these people are that are giving ideas out there want to say, right? But when you keep saying stuff that others are able to tear apart so many times that a former liberal watches that maybe was a viewer of you and says, how can Sam not see this and outgrow it? He is still stuck on this policy that's been proven. Americans don't want to pay more taxes to a government that wastes their taxes. How does he not see that? How does he keep pushing this agenda back and forth? Then you lose an audience, and the people you keep is the following. Here's who you end up keeping.
So what should they get paid back? Citizens pay approximately $451 billion a year on illegals, all inclusive. It's not enough. It's not. If only we threw more money at them, then the problem would be fixed. Probably not the right.
And the back and forth. Then you lose an audience, and the people you keep is the following. Here's who you end up keeping. You end up keeping an audience that makes you think you're right, but that's not always the case. You keep an audience that, of course, hates rich people. Rich people are bad people, and they're probably not making a lot of money, and they come to Sam to save them. Hey, let's trash and bash rich people because this is what we got to do. Yes, Sam, let's go after the rich. We want a...
Yep. So it is telling people what they want to hear and providing them with coping mechanisms. So guys, really quick, if you would like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch, including the Stop Semantic Obfuscation. We've got magnets, we've got stickers, we've got mugs, we've got it all at TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also, a better question. We do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join 24/7. We are in there hanging out. I'm arguing with somebody right now. Come and join us. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, and it is a great time. And like I said, it's absolutely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can scroll right below the video, hit that join button. There's a few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month. It gets you members only live streams here on YouTube, all that other good stuff. But it also opens up the full Discord server, guys. So there is the free chat for anybody to join, but there's extras for members, including our voice channel. So as soon as we are done here, we are headed over there for an after party. We don't have to worry about any YouTube censors, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a good time. Definitely come and join us. All right, let's move on to the next clip here. You're tax evaders. Oh, I remember this one.
Can you tell me why, out of all the 50 states in America in 2024 that voted for president, why did 50 for 50 state become more Republican? Can you tell me why, out of 50 states that voted for
Kamala and Biden
president in 2024, can you tell me why the two states that lost the most people, the only two states in America that lost $1 trillion of money under management, that left their states to another state like Nevada, Texas, and Florida, can you tell me why those two states, imagine New York and California, during COVID, lost $1 trillion of wealth that left to other states? And even after all those people that left, the two states that became more Republican than they were before in 2020 were New York and Texas. Can you tell me why people come to Texas? Why do people go to Nevada? Why do people go to Florida? Why do you think it is?
To escape the authoritarianism. Shout out to Bunkmaster again. Bunkmaster General said, join Discord so I can infuriate you. Yes, that is what you guys do very, 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 very well. I am an object of your entertainment, but I am here for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, sir. Guys, that's 8 out of 10. Two more, and Morty gets his peanut butter. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, sir.
New York and Texas. Can you tell me why people come to Texas? Why
do people come? This is insane. Why do people come to Texas?
Why do people go to Nevada? Why do people go to Florida? Why do you think it is? Is it because maybe they don't have state taxes? Why do you think Arthur Laffer's in Tennessee? Why do you think Musk is in Texas? Why do you think Rogan went to Texas? Why do you think California is losing so many jobs?
Well, I think
you're not ready for this. Whatever you think he's going to say, you're not ready.
Because of high
people
taxes?
who like to evade taxes, sure.
It's evade taxes. So you see, but guys,
if you live in a state where they don't ask you for taxes, you're evading those taxes. What? That don't make no sense, in case you missed it.
High taxes in Texas. Why do you think Rogan went to Texas? Why do you think California is losing so many jobs?
Well, I think
it's because of high
people
taxes?
who like to evade taxes, sure.
It's evade taxes. So you see, but guys, let me, Sam, respectfully, I just figured out who you are. I'm telling you, I just figured out who you are. Deep down inside of you, you are driven by so much power, control, a deep-rooted feeling matching the qualities of a communist that wants to tell you what to do, and you think you know what's best for others, and if it isn't your way, everybody else is wrong. And by the way, an extremely unattractive quality,
I'm literally
but
just
very
advocating for higher taxes.
Let's give a goddamn dilly to that. PBD. Doing the damn thing. And it's convenient. It's convenient how everybody who does, who is willing to host Sam comes to the same exact conclusion. It's almost like it's true.
An extremely unattractive quality,
literally
but
just
very
advocating for higher taxes on super wealthy people.
No, you're not, because what you just said,
2.5 million.
What you just said, let me just make the point here. You just said people who left California and New York, your first response was they're evading, as if they have to pay you. That's not how this works. They're evading taxes. These guys.
I am owed your money, even if you live where the laws say that you don't have to pay the government that money. I should still get that money. Speechless. I am speechless.
Evading, as if they have to pay you. That's not how this works. They're evading taxes. These guys are tax evaders. They left. No, it's called, if a company offers better benefits. Are you on Rumble?
I think we stream on Rumble.
Motherfucker, you know whether you're streaming on a platform or not. Come on.
Where do you put your video clips the most? YouTube?
YouTube.
Why YouTube?
I'm surprised it's not Twitch with his type of content.
That's just where
we get the most money.
Technology was when we started.
Why don't you do it on Vimeo?
We do run it through Vimeo.
Why don't you do all your stuff through Vimeo? Why do you do it on YouTube?
And it's funny how he does. Look at that face. He doesn't even realize where this is going. He doesn't even realize that a PBD is setting up the trap, that you're evading other fees and stuff. Like, what are you talking about?
We do run it through Vimeo.
Why don't you do all your stuff through Vimeo? Why do you do it on YouTube?
Yep.
That's where the most people are.
and that's where they pay the best.
Well, that's I mean, that's
Yeah,
where
of
we have
course.
the most audience. But if we had a bigger
you're
audience
evading.
like
You're
Twitch,
evading the revenue going to another company. You're such an evader
Well,
of
we're on all those
sponsorship money
platforms.
going to another company that keeps more money of it. You're such an evader.
Shame
Why
on
are you evading all this sponsorship money? You're such a sponsorship money evader. Sam,
Evader, evade, evade, evade. Gabriel said, thank you, sir, for the $2. Very, very, very much appreciated, guys. One more, and we have hit our goal. Thank you so very, very much, guys. Very much appreciated. Nirvana said they may have already paid decades of California taxes, so maybe it's something more than evasion. Maybe. But nah, they're just tax evaders. Where do you even come up with that? Because you have to already in your mind have it as an axiom that wanting to, or rather not wanting to pay taxes is an immoral thing. That you should want to pay more taxes. And if you don't want to pay more taxes, then you're a bad person. My mic go out? My mic? Anyone else? Test. No, good. All right.
Sam Seder's a sponsorship money evader. Everybody, come on, man. But
I'm a sponsorship evader.
Yeah.
What is it?
what did you call it? No, you called people
I'm
who
a
tax evaders.
There-
See, that's the
I think
part.
there's a lot of people who leave high tax states for low tax states.
Is that evading or is that just common sense?
You
and
just
wanting
call
to-
them tax
Okay,
evaders.
I mean, if you want
I
to,
think there's a lot of
I think we're about to see the world record.
if they're
people that do
going
that.
for tax reasons, then they're
Sam,
trying to.
There's also a lot of
pay
people
less
that
tax.
go to lower cost
What is the
restaurants
word-
versus higher
what
cost
word would you
restaurants.
rather me
There's
use?
people that shop at
Better
H&M
opportunity.
versus shopping at
better
Gucci.
opportunity.
It's called saving
tax
money.
situations.
If
Shout out to equality and deference because vagina. Welcome. Said liked and shared. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know that sharing the video, plastering it wherever you can helps out the channel so much. It doesn't even matter if you think people are going to click on your link just by putting it out there, just by hitting the share button. It helps out the channel so very, very much. Thank you, and welcome to the party. Quality said, wanting to pay taxes is like wanting to be mugged and poked in the eye with a diseased horse stick. No, thank you. Just like taxes. Imagine that. Welcome to the party. See, he's visibly shrinking into the background. He's just like, but it's gonna all blow up in his face. I told you it was getting good. We started out slow, but the rest is balls.
Better
H&M
opportunity.
versus shopping at
Better
Gucci.
opportunity.
It's called saving
tax
money.
situations.
if I have to
How
be
about
under
shoes?
if I have to be under someone's watch, like a dictatorship quality like you that thinks you know what's best for others.
You think I'm a
And you-
dictator?
Financial
the,
dictator.
You would be if you could be.
the way you
Financial
are,
I'll give you
what
that.
you feel. Your first answer was a
It was a tax evader. Remind me playing Space Invaders. I think that's the degree of intellect that you need to play Space Invaders. That's the degree of intellect we see with Sam.
I'm a
and you-
dictator.
Financial dictator.
The way you
Financial
are,
I'll give you
what
that.
you feel. Your first answer was a tax evader. That's how you view them. You don't view them as a asset to the state. You see them as criminals.
Again, the axiom that if you don't want to pay taxes, you're a bad person.
You just called entrepreneurs that live in New York and California as criminals. Is tax evader a criminal? Rob, can you pull up what a tax evader is? Type in tax evader synonym.
We got a tax evader playing Space Invaders. Got me thinking, Ty said, reminds me of alligators. Dilly to me for dropping bars. And dilly to you for giving me those bars to deliver so perfectly.
Tax evader synonym. What are some tax evader synonyms? Can you go to tax evader synonyms or also tax dodger, tax fraud,
illegal.
tax avoidance? You're calling these people criminals.
A person.
I mean, yeah, that is a crime. Unknown Atheist said, Seder is an idiot. Going to a state with lower taxes is not tax evasion. Evasion is not reporting income or other fraud. Yep.
Who tries to avoid paying
Wow.
taxes, often
You're
through illegal means.
Yeah, tax evader. Someone who's illegally avoids paying taxes. Person who tries to avoid paying taxes, often through illegal means. Tax fraud would be under tax dodger and tax avoidance. I mean, yeah, obviously.
But
somebody
it's-
who leaves.
So me, I left.
paying
So I
taxes,
left
criminal.
California because
I'm sorry. I should have said tax avoiders.
Right. Okay. So
Oh my goodness.
How dare you?
You want to avoid paying taxes? But we have a country to run. If only we had tariffs. Oh, we do. Quality said a tax Darth Vader guy is wait, what? A tax Darth Vader is a guy who wants to force choke an IRS agent. I guess that makes me a tax Darth Vader then. Oh my goodness! Gabriel with the $2 said for the bars, mic drop. So we not only get Morty his treat, but we also have hit our goal. Not officially, but I like to appreciate everything. So let's give a little lo-fi here. Give me a second, and we're gonna get Morty his peanut butter. Thank you, all of you who donated. Don't even forget about my push-ups. Butter. Dun 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 dun. Yeah! Guys, thank you. Oh, look at him. He is loving it. Thank you so very, very much. Rolling over my wires here. Thank you so much, guys. Look how happy you're making it. Very, very, very much appreciated. Let's dive right back in here.
No,
so I left California because
I'm sorry. I should have said tax avoiders.
Right. Okay. So tax evaders. Right.
Semantic obfuscation.
It's called.
Are we good with tax avoiders?
It's called better opportunities.
Am I a better person if I say
Sam, you're also a tax avoider.
Nothing you can do would make you a better person because you are who you are. It's almost like just saying the right thing doesn't make you a better or worse person. It's almost like the intentions in your heart dictate if you're a better or worse person.
Opportunities.
Because if you have an S corp, you have what is called as write-offs.
Well, that's such an.
And so you don't. Have, so like when you do write-offs.
Do I do?
I already know the answer. Of course you do.
You write off.
Such an
so
evader,
you write it off. Why you avoid tax
evader?
Why would you do such a thing, Sam? You're a tax evader.
It's on the
Shame on this guy
just
for
to do that.
writing off tax.
Here's something.
Call the feds.
Here's something that
You probably have an accountant helping you.
He does. Sam, here's something that I've learned. It's okay to say
There we go. Now we got him in frame.
the following. You ready? Man, I might have been wrong on that one.
I just conceded.
In anything.
I should.
Sam Seder saying I was wrong? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Yippee skippy kaye for the overlord. That's you guys. Thank you so very much.
Man, I might have been wrong on that one.
I just conceded.
In anything.
I should have said
I'm just saying in anything because where growth happens is when you be like,
avoider.
Yeah, when you grow. I remember the most amount of money I ever made was in 2016. I was like, oh my god,
this is like
I'm a millionaire now. It's a tax therapy session. I was like, oh my God, I'm paying all this taxes. I don't like this.
I like the way you said this. He believes nothing his mouth does. Bingo. Well said. Well said.
You know what fascinates me about this is that, like, I'm talking about policies that impact the country. I'm talking about the implications of taxation on the top 0.5%, top 1% of this country.
Who pay 50%
and it is boiled
of
down
taxes, Sam?
to you guys saying that I'm a bad person.
No. I actually think you're a great person.
I don't care.
With bad ideas.
I don't.
Shout out to Matthew King in the building. Welcome to the party. So if you do not avoid paying any taxes legally possible, you're an idiot. Exactly. And that's what they're bringing up, like with write-offs and stuff. That how dare you not pay what you could theoretically pay that isn't owed, but you could still pay it. Amy said he is just an idiot. Welcome to the party. If you are just joining us, we did hit our swole goal, and Morty's got his peanut butter there, and I will be doing my swole goal push-ups. I hope you will do some with me at the end of the stream, so stick around. We've got plenty to go. Welcome.
No. I actually think you're a great person.
I don't care.
With bad ideas.
I don't care about like any of you as individuals.
You same boat as us.
I don't care about me. Exactly.
I don't disrespect
about policies. And when we get into policy, I notice how this all pivots, and I don't blame you because, frankly, if you tell the American public, and maybe not this audience, because this audience is built on your on your business. Around your business doings and whatnot.
Yeah, and because you have business doings, then of course, just like me, your entire audience is going to be, sycophants to whatever you say. Oh, projection. Oh, is that the one equality? Is that the one we looked at last time? I remember. You're right. Did we miss anything? No, but yeah, exactly. The only reason you would think that, oh, your audience must agree with every single thing that you say because you said it, is if you have an audience that agrees with everything you say just because you said it.
It's because this audience is built on your on your business, around your business doings and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you tell the American public that they're getting fleeced and they are losing political power to money, they react,
which we were by the Democrats,
act like they did in Wisconsin.
And we will react like we did in November.
Basically reject it. And so what
happened in November.
Ty Cobb, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a good one.
The message I'm carrying.
What happened on November 5th?
Those people didn't come out. They came out to vote for Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a character that they like.
Why didn't they?
You're goddamn right.
Come out in 2020. Oh.
Why didn't they come out? Because Donald Trump was very close to their experience. And I think I have a feeling in 20.
What? Wait, maybe I'm dumb.
Is a character that they like.
Why didn't?
That's what they voted for him. Okay.
And they come out in 2020. Oh.
Why didn't they come out? Because Donald Trump was very close to their experience. And I think.
So Donald Trump was very close to their experience, which is why they didn't vote for him. What?
I have a feeling in 2024, they'd also vote him out if he tries to run again.
Can you imagine?
I wouldn't.
Like, you had 4 years of a guy. His name is Donald Trump. Then this motivational speaker named Joe Biden shows up. Okay, and he fills up the arenas. And he wins. Every time he spoke, 200,000-300,000 people would show up to just hear this man give a speech. Like one of those.
No, that's the thing. Biden was a complete just placeholder for not Donald Trump.
This guy gets up there and he crushes Trump. And you guys are like, oh, he got so destroyed. Crushes Trump. Look at the way Biden beat Trump.
With 20 million more votes than any other election and what we would expect. Buckmaster General said, always with a disclaimer, I think you're a great person. Just say it like it is. You're a douchebag with terrible ideas. Well, this is where, when people have their dislikes about PBD, it kind of falls in this area because he is that salesman type dude and he is trying to foster the conversation so that he can go as hard. So, kind of. I agree with you in general, but I think PBD is a little bit more surgical in the way he does that. And by using a little bit of flattery, he gets a lot further. And he said, does he hear himself? If a state has no taxes or low taxes legally, you're an evader for moving there. But if you're poor and a minority in a higher tax state, you get benefits and pay minimal. What's wrong with that? Oh, the hypocrisy. Yeah, we don't care about that. We just want to be right. We just want to win points because this is all a game, and I want to be on the winning team, aka the right side of history. Insane.
People don't want a person like Trump, and then America watched all the policies that you support. Biden comes president. He does what he does. 4 years later, his vice president, his VP, Kamala Harris.
Google antitrust and see how popular it is.
His VP runs for office, okay? Runs for office, loses every battleground state, 89 county, 50 for 50 states become more Republican. We want a million.
Oof, oof, oof. And shout out to Holly again. I don't even know if he's going to take this one. He probably will. Look at his face. Look at his face. He was like, you got more for me? You got more? We got more, buddy. We got more. Hell yeah. Have yourself a ball. Holly, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. If we didn't hit the goal officially, we have now hit the goal officially. Thank you so very, very much. He is loving that peanut butter. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now I'll do another goal to add some more push-ups if you want to do that. If not, either way. Thank you again.
89 county. 50 for 50 states become more Republican. We want a million people to support the Future Looks Bright gear. We are getting very close to it. And you're sitting here saying, you guys.
This is the next clip. You voted for Kamala?
Think you got better policies?
No, I think Kamala Harris is, I mean, I think, look, I think it was what Biden did in staying in was atrocious. He should have gotten out way earlier. Yeah. There's a story coming out now of like Ron Klain seeing him before the debate and realizing the guy was a mess. And I think Harris's campaign was also poorly run. I think that, nobody could tell what her policies were. Mark Cuban's going out there saying,
Neither
we're going to
could
get rid
she.
of, right, I agree. Mark Cuban's coming out there saying like, oh, don't worry, she's not going to do any more of this antitrust stuff. On one hand, I don't want a billionaire coming out and speaking for my candidate.
A billionaire? Ugh. I mean, like, I don't know what they did or didn't do, but if they have a lot of money, they must be evil.
Antitrust stuff. On one hand, I don't want a billionaire coming out and speaking for my candidate.
Did you vote for her? Or did you sit that one out?
No, I voted for.
No, we're definitely not giving them too much peanut butter in one night. But if you would like to add 10 more push-ups, I made a very simple goal: 5 super chats of any size. 5 of any size will get 10 more push-ups. But either way, you guys have already come through for me. Very, very, very much appreciated. And I still have those 10 push-ups at the end. Bambi said, does he not understand that most people don't want to pay taxes, except for those who want socialism and communism, aka the mentally deficient, or the overly privileged and rich who don't understand the real world, which would be Sam. Gabriel said, future looks bright. Now, that is a debate topic. I'm down. I am down. Yeah, second one, yeah, that's too much for one day. Like, it's not the most healthy thing, but it's not going to kill him. But giving him too much he'll definitely get the squirts, if nothing else. Shout out to AKA182. Welcome to the party. Asking, what's Sam Seder's problem with billionaires? Well, obviously, billionaires, by the virtue of them being billionaires, are terrible, horrible, no good, very bad people. So if you have $1 billion, automatically, Sam Seder says, you are a bad person. This is one of the largest thought leaders on the left, and that's what he believes. Welcome to the party.
I'm speaking for my candidate.
Did you vote for her? Or did you sit that one out?
No, I voted for her.
You voted for Kamala. Why? Just because
He's like, you what? You what?
Very rational.
No, hold on. What did you? I want to hold on. You voted. This is what drives me crazy about your side. You guys voted
for the lesser of two evils.
That is on.
Did you
know? What policy were you going for? What do you think that she was going to do different? What can you possibly? I would rather have you sit that one out, Sam. Go ahead.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
She was not going to cut Social Security functioning. She's not going to cut the USDA.
Neither did Trump.
She's not going to cut the FDA. She's not going to lose us $500 billion.
Why wouldn't we want to cut the FDA?
She's not going to cut the USDA. She's not going to cut the FDA. She's not going to lose us $500 billion worth of return on investment with the IRS.
Yeah, we're going to make trillions.
She's not going to cut the Bureau of Labor Statistics. She's not going to cut.
Oh, the Bureau of Labor Statistics? What are we going to do without the Bureau of Labor Statistics? Oh my God. Couldn't that just be an Excel sheet at this point? I'm being somewhat facetious, but what are we talking about here? Bumzek said, and as optimistic as I am, there are parts of the current economic changes that are worrying. I have high hopes as long as Trump doesn't touch Social Security. That's literally where half of my sales come from. Old people don't want life insurance right now because they all believe the Dems they all believe the Dems that Trump will cut Social Security. So wouldn't that mean that they would want life insurance? If they're getting Social Security, then that would be like, I don't need life insurance because I've got Social Security. If they're not getting, or if they think they're not getting Social Security, wouldn't that incentivize them to get life insurance? And I mean, like, hey, I definitely can see the personal effects of being in that particular industry, and you're absolutely justified in having those worries about your own situation. But I don't think we can argue that it's zooming out that it's better for America that we cut all the bullshit, and that doesn't mean stop Social Security. That's not what I'm talking about. But, we always want to go in that direction. Social Security doesn't pay for all final expenses, just a few thousand at most. Right. But I'm saying if there's less Social Security, doesn't that increase the incentive to want to get life insurance? Oh, my goodness. Funk Master again. So I wasn't going to say anything because I'm polite and well-mannered. But you're looking like you're in need of an extra 10 push-ups. Well, that's one, guys. That is one. Let's go. We are getting there. Thank you so very much. And if I'm not mistaken, cheers all out of whack. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that makes you the new sponsor of the stream, right? We had TV at 10. We got 2, 4, 6, and 11. There we go. New sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much.
Press. She's not going to cut.
If you were trying to do the goal at once, you would do $5 because it's the number of super chats. But either way, very much appreciated.
Of return on investment with the IRS. She's not going to cut the Bureau of Labor Statistics. She's not going to cut 300
investment
return on investment. Every dollar that you give to the IRS would get 6 or 7 back. She's not going to cut the museum and library. Say that? Google.
I missed it. What did you say?
6 or 7 back. She's not going to cut the museum and library. Say that?
Oh.
Investment.
Return on investment. Every dollar that you give to the IRS would get 6 or 7 back. She's not going to cut the museum and
what? Every dollar you give to the IRS, you get 6 or 7 back? What? What even is that? Bambi said some people live off Social Security. Keep in mind, disability comes out of Social Security as well. And they're making us sick with the politicization of our food meds that more people have ailments. That's why it's dwindling. Millennials work. Yeah. And you know, that's kind of what I'm alluding to. That if, regardless of what is actually happening, if we're just looking at the perception of old people, if the perception of old people is that, he is loving it. If I've got all this Social Security money coming to me, but it's not enough, I might need a little bit of health insurance or life insurance, but Social Security is good. If they then think alternatively, oh no, Trump is going to cut all Social Security and I'm not going to get any money, why would that not incentivize them to want to get more life insurance? The math definitely is not mathin'. Buchak said, maybe I've been doing taxes wrong. Maybe. Maybe said, I'd file my taxes in a jiffy if that were true. Not a jiff. That's skimpy. But, so the sponsor of this stream is the highest donation. We did I miss you? Oh, did I miss you? Gabriel had 5, 7, 9. So you are $2 short of our co-sponsor spot, although it is very, very, very much appreciated. The highest amount of the stream. So $2 and you're in there. $2 and you're in there, and it works towards our goal.
Every dollar that you give to the IRS would get 6 or 7 back. She's not going to cut the museum and library. Say that? Google it.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't put that together.
Every dollar spent at the IRS gets 6 back in returns. They're anticipating the cuts from Doge. The cuts from Doge are going to cost our government $500 billion.
According to who?
Studies suggest.
All right, I undersold it a little bit.
Okay, studies suggest that for every dollar the IRS spends on enforcement, particularly audits of higher income taxpayers, the government can recover significantly more tax revenue. Oh, so the government. So when he says we, he doesn't mean we the people. He means the government is making money off of our money.
According to who?
Okay, well, that, you can spend time attacking the people.
Low quality saying for the lowest quintile, perhaps, possible, but I don't think that what he's saying has any grounding in reality. Hey, Bug Master, again. So at this moment, it's hard to believe that Morty could wipe out the universe with a thought. Don't put any ideas in his head. All right, let's see if we can get him away from the peanut butter for a second to get his treat. Morty Mart. He's just like, fuck you, dude. I'm going to hit him with it. It's over there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Out sponsoring yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Look at him. You guys are making him so very, very happy. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. Guanze, so did Sam just say that the cut from Doge will cost us money? Did he say that? We got to back this up a little bit. Because you know that is wild. So I let him go and do as much as he can. And that's one instance of him getting peanut butter. So then, like, I have another one up there where he's already licked as far as he can lick, and the bottom half of the jar is full of peanut butter. The next time we do a Swogo with peanut butter, then he'll get the cut jar. So yeah, he's only getting half of it. So we're not getting. There's a lot of sugar and stuff that maybe not ideal for dogs, but he's a fucking monster. Well, if I do that, then he won't get it because it'll get stuck to the bottom. Gabriel said, "We, not the people, but we, the government." And that's exactly how Sam Seder thinks. It makes so much sense now. Now he said, he is saying if they spend $1,000 going after someone that didn't pay, they'll get $5,000 back. Okay. On enforcement. Okay. All right. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. I don't even know if that, if that is true, but that makes a lot more sense. Thank you. King Ron said, right. I remember now, like roaches for pups. Oh yeah, pretty much. It's a good analogy. Maybe said if that were true, why are they arming IRS agents? They want their money. Oh my goodness, Funkmaster coming in hard with the 5 gifted memberships. While you've dropped your thing, we've got another treat here. And I'll get you that. Shout out to Trad Guy Travels, M169, Leslie, D, Shifty Eyes Shady. You guys are now members of the stream. Big shout out to all of the disciples. Make sure you click the link at the top of the chat to join the free Discord, and then let me know that you got the membership so that you can get the whole thing. Thank you. Quality said, yes, you silly head. The money you and I work for, the money you and I work to earn really belongs to the government, not us. Right. But when he was framing it this way, I for whatever reason, when he said we get money back, I thought he meant we, the people, which is obviously retarded, but it's Sam Seder. Yeah, I know. Baby said liberals protect bureaucracies and call it democracy. Now that is a bar. Dilly to that. Guys, thank you again so much. Big shout out to Funkmaster General out sponsoring himself. And of course, I love you all. Whether you are here for free, whether you're dropping dimes, whatever you are doing, if you are here, if you can hear this, I very, very, very much appreciate you.
A little bit.
According to who?
Okay, well, you can spend time attacking the people.
I'm not going to do your research for you. I'm just going to bring up points and then not saying anything about it and then make it your fault that you don't understand what I'm saying.
Calculation. Do you need me to tell you more about why?
What I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious to
just
what
rando tariffs applied in a willy-nilly fashion that crash the economy.
So you don't think the tariffs that Trump is, and I get it. That's exactly, the tariffs are exactly what America needs right now, because let's just go to the border. What he did with the border with Mexico with the tariffs, what happened to fentanyl? What happened to all the deaths? What happened to all those illegals that are caught? What do you mean? He threatened them and they went
fentanyl comes across the border at ports of entry. Fentanyl comes across the border, not in illegals crossing the desert. It comes in.
Oh yeah, no, just CBP and everybody who studies this. They're just lying. They don't know as much as Sam Seder.
Fentanyl comes across the border, not in illegals crossing the desert. It comes in.
Oh really? Coyotes really?
Okay.
Yes, the memberships are given at random, but you can make sure that you have the option turned on to accept gifts. Let's go over this really quick and just make sure, because I don't remember. So how do you turn on accepting gifts on a YouTube live stream? I always forget how to do it, but it's one of the options where you just click, like try the 3 dots or whatever. So during the live chat, no, we want to. That's not what I'm asking. How to? Okay, well, let's do.
Hello, everyone. This is a real quick tutorial on how to accept gifted memberships on YouTube. Basically, what you have to do is you see this join button on the home page of a channel. You go there, click the 3 dots at the top.
There you go.
Go to gift settings.
So that click the here. I'll drop the link to that page. So if you click that link and then follow what he's saying here. So you just go to the membership page, and then the 3 dots here that will
channel.
allow you
Go there, click the 3 dots at the top, go to gift settings, and you want to make sure this is enabled. Have it on the blue side. I don't know why they have a setting. It should just be automatically enabled, but make sure it's
right. I don't know why they do that, but thank you, ChatGPT and this person. So yeah, make sure you've got gifts turned on so that you can get a free membership.
set to the blue.
In illegals crossing the desert, it comes in.
Oh, really? Coyotes and really?
So
Really?
It comes in,
Oh, okay.
It comes in.
Yep. Yeah.
It comes in at ports of entry. Google that.
Sam, I don't need to Google when it's like
yes, you do.
said you voted for someone. You're coming up with these policies. The worst pick ever. The biggest.
Thank you, Matthew.
Loss ever. She lost everything because your side. You're talking about people. Wait, let me ask you a question.
Shout out to a God. He said Sam identifies as government. His pronouns are incompetent and evil. You guys are on fire tonight.
You're acting like your whole side was surprised that Biden wasn't there. Everybody knew, including you, he wasn't there at all. But you guys are like, he's just not Trump.
Sharp as a tack.
The worst president in the history of the world are in this country 4 years because you guys were pretending that he was all there and we knew it. And who?
I think the only argument against Biden being the worst president ever is somebody. Depending on which side you're on, like some people hate like FDR, some people hate Carter for actually doing things that really damaged the country. I think the big damage from the Biden administration was not doing things. That's the only argument that you could present that Biden is not the worst president in the history of the nation.
Who was making all the decisions? Who was making all the decisions? Who was signing all the shit? Who was signing off? How many times did you have to see Biden sitting there and they'd ask him a question and he'd go, "Oh, I can't because they told me I couldn't." He wasn't in charge.
They who?
Yeah, who was they?
Exactly.
Come on, Sam. It's like the most devastating loss. The country is over it. You guys aren't pivoting, okay? And if you think the future is Gavin Newsom, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Jasmine Crockett, you guys are doomed. Nothing is going to change. And Elon Musk, you think Elon Musk is a net positive or net negative for society for what he's doing and pointing out what the hell these people have been screwing us for all these years? And he's pointing out, you guys are mad at the person pointing out who robbed from you than the actual robber. That's the truth, bro. Yeah, he's a billionaire. You think he's doing it because he needs the money?
What fraud has he found?
What do you mean? How much?
What fraud has he found? What fraud has he found? I don't know. We could start with Afghani or Iraqi Sesame Street. You could start there. That's a good place to start. All you need to do is Google a list of all of this shit. It's all over Twitter. And you know that there's going to be answers to that question. So why would you even ask that?
Truth, bro. Yeah, he's a billionaire. You think he's doing it because he needs the money?
What fraud has he found?
What do you mean? How much fraud has he found?
Yeah, where's the person who is going to be indicted for fraud?
Well, what about the?
Oh, because it doesn't say fraud on a piece of paper, then it's not fraud. This is how simple these people are. Did the people who are in charge say it was fraud? Then it's not fraud.
Waste.
What waste?
Because it's not.
What waste? Okay,
waste?
all right. Okay, you had a semantic argument with the fraud. You had a semantic argument that, well, okay, well, I you don't like that policy, but it went through the legal channels and that money went where it was supposed to go. Kind of a shitty argument, but where was the waste? Where was the waste? Where is there not waste? Context said, Sam, Google something that's not a lefty talking point? Oh, don't get your hopes up. Agreed.
Cut the.
Did he just say stop it, Sam?
The waste.
What waste?
Because it's not. Stop it, Sam.
What waste? They just cut
Sam.
They cut the agency that provides $295 million to museums and libraries. You appreciate libraries, don't you? I know how much.
Not really. Not really. When's the last time you went to a library? Now, there's definitely, I'm not saying ban libraries. Libraries definitely have a role in communities. But no, I don't necessarily appreciate libraries. Quality said, Lincoln, he fundamentally overturned our system of government and waged war on his own people. That's how he would see it. That's how he would see it. Yeah, but Peru needs more trans comic books. What are they going to do if we don't get them trans comic books? No. Bammy said, I mean, Social Security benefits set to max inclusion, max payout for illegals. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay. But Sam, you're pinpointing the one good thing that they probably did.
Wait,
what about the waste of countries all around the world for LGBTQ agendas in Rwanda or something?
The money you're talking about.
Yeah, we saw it over. Quality, this guy has his head up Biden's ass, and they share. So far, up Biden's ass, they share a cancerous brain cell. Just one. Just one.
All around the world for LGBTQ agendas in Rwanda or something.
The money you're talking about.
Do you want money going to
a fraction of a percentage? And if we wanted to get rid of that money, there is a way of doing it, and that is to have Congress vote and reverse what they authorized in the first place.
Sam.
But to have a billionaire come in and decide based upon what his personal preferences are that he's going to cut government in this way, I'm sorry, that's not democracy. It's not even remotely close to it.
He doesn't have the...
It literally is. It literally is democracy because we all voted and Trump ran on Doge and then we all voted and he won the popular vote. We are not a democracy. Yet democratically, we did decide to do this. You may not like it, but it is the definition of democracy. Most people wanted it, so we did it. Well, we're doing it. That's democracy.
He's going to cut government in this way. I'm sorry, that's not democracy. It's not even remotely close to it.
He doesn't have the power to do anything. He makes a suggestion.
Why do you think
and then the
Americans
administration will do it?
Why do you think Americans voted for
I don't think
policies?
Americans heard the word Doge outside of it being some type of
nope, I'm forcing you guys to pick one.
Crypto before.
Why do you think Americans voted for Trump?
Well, I think because they want change.
In what? What were they not happy with?
I think inflation was a big part of it for them.
What else?
Yep.
Do you think?
I think for a 90% of his voters.
90%. So now we're painting 90% of the 60% of the country with one broad brush.
Voted for Mitt Romney. I think there.
Oh, okay, never mind.
90% of his voters voted for Mitt Romney.
Not me.
I think there is the Republican Party wants to, have tax cuts.
How do we get inflation? How does inflation
Can we
happen?
stay in 2024? You said inflation. What else?
Give me 1 second. How does inflation happen?
Inflation can happen in a couple of different ways. Inflation.
All right, so pick your best option. You could either break the tie or make it a tie. It's all on you, Funk. It's all on you. I trust in your ability. Don't fucking pick at random. I trust your ability to take the question and the choices given and see one that is better than the rest. I trust in your ability to do that, even if it's not perfect. I trust in you. Because you're smart, right?
Give me 1 second. How does inflation happen?
Inflation can happen in a couple of different ways. Inflation can happen because you have too much monetary supply.
Yeah.
Inflation can happen
like money printer go burr.
Happen in terms of both from a monetary supply level or a fiscal stimulus.
Right.
And I will point out, yes, of course, Trump did these stimulus checks, but Biden continued them. Yeah, Equality said why why I voted for Trump. Inflation, the border, foreign policy, and taxes. That's not even to mention the culture war issues.
Right.
Yeah.
And inflation can also happen if you have a once in a lifetime pandemic that completely screws up all of your logistics. And so you've got shipping containers that usually cost $4,000 to ship, but now they cost $22,000 to get because they're in far-flung places because the pandemic.
That was in 2021. That was in 2021.
Well, it reverberates through the thing. We saw inflation dropping through 2024.
Sure.
We saw rate cuts on the table because we saw inflation dropping.
Any of it was with again? So those are the main two issues. You don't think anything else. So you mainly think it was inflation, and your second point was
I think in large part, we have structural problems in this country. And that's why we keep getting change elections where we keep going.
That's such a vague statement. What do you mean? We have structural issues. The infrastructure is not there and the systems could be better. And, the establishment isn't as forthright as it should be. Like, you're not saying anything.
Large part, we have structural problems in this country. And that's why we keep getting change elections.
I thought it was Jill. Just putting it out there.
Elections where we keep going back and forth.
And
I would say those structural problems range from, I think a lot of them have to do with wealth inequality.
Okay. So
again, don't disagree necessarily, but your solutions to that wealth inequality will only exacerbate wealth inequality.
You think Democrats are better at helping wealth inequality or Republicans?
I think Democrats are marginally better.
Tell me, due to what policy?
Well, taxation helps. That's a big part. Strengthening labor. I think, during Biden,
throw money at it.
Biden, but
where 6% of the workers work from home. Yeah. So how about
labor?
Top 10% of earners pay 60, or excuse me. Let me get the stat right. The top 10% of earners pay 76% of federal taxes. He is an idiot.
Stupid.
Agreed.
Strengthening labor strength in the marketplace helps with wealth inequality. I think antitrust goes a long way to wealth inequality because it literally is to break up the concentration
here's the
of
other
wealth.
Question for you. So Trump's closed out the border, right? Where we are not getting, like this, numbers have dropped dramatically.
Well, if you go back and look in the, and I don't necessarily agree with Biden doing this, but if you go back and look at the numbers starting in the summer of 2024, maybe a little bit before.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. Look, just put it up there. Listen, I'm not in favor of him doing this, but he did do it. Wait, put up the graph of.
So you mean in an election year?
Again, another little pet peeve when you're a guest. Put up the graph. Can you please put up the graph on your show? Just the little things. It's always the fucking liberals.
But this is the spin job.
Did do it. Wait, put up the graph.
So you mean in an election year? He tried to slow down the border.
Here's what I'd like to do.
I'm not in favor of it, but
I'd like to get through some stories, but I just want to close the knot here and move on because we're not going to make any
see if you can
progress
get a
here.
graph of that.
Right. If you just want to show up graph on immigration from 2021, 22, 22, is that the chart you want to see? What do you want to see?
Let's see the one over the past. You said he dropped it dramatically in January, and I'm suggesting
what chart do you think that is going to show anything in favor of Biden not exacerbating illegal immigration to the worst degree that we've ever seen? What chart do you think exists? Or is it just, I'm going to present the idea that I want to look at the numbers, I want to look at a source, and they didn't even want to look at the source, so I'm right. Guarantee you that is going to be a Majority Report clip. If it's not already out today, it'll be out tomorrow. Unknown Atheist said the top 1% pay 46%. Inequality is meaningless. I don't necessarily think it's meaningless. It just doesn't comport with what the fuck he's talking about. Buckner said, I believe in Jill. I believe she's a truly disgusting, vapid human being. Allegedly a human being. Fair enough.
You said he dropped illegal immigrants dramatically in January.
Oh, and then Equality said in the top 20%, the top quintile pay all the taxes statistically. The rest break even or make money on the system. Yeah, most years I've gotten a tax return. King Nirvana said Tim Pool told Vigeland that this is why no one wants to invite you guys on for a reason. I see what he means. It's exactly Equality and Democrats just saying, who's this Sam Seder guy? So he runs a majority show on YouTube and is banned from most channels because he does this. We all know it.
Let's see the one over the past. You said he dropped it dramatically in January, and I'm suggesting if you look at the past 12 months.
No, it's okay. Rob, do me a favor, find the chart on immediately when Trump comes in, what happens to illegal immigration in America. While you're doing that, here's a question for you. 10 million illegal immigrants came through the border in 4 years under Biden.
Way more.
No, right. Way more.
You're saying it's more?
We don't know because the scientists didn't give us a study on exactly how many people are there, so you can't say it's a number that I don't like.
What's the number of undocumented immigrants you think we have in this country right now?
Right now, I would say 30 to 35 million.
What I'm asking is those 4 years. How many do we have during those 4 years?
Probably
that came
through that we have
15 to
according
20.
to credible sources. What's the number you hear?
that are in the country now, or
that
actually
came
just
through
crossed?
illegally during those 4 years.
That wasn't a complicated question, bro.
I would imagine it's probably close to like 5, 6, maybe to 10 million.
Let's say 10 million people.
Tom Homan said 10 million.
Let's say it's 10 million. Let's say it's 10 million, but give or take
That's a conservative fucking estimation.
2 million. Let's just say it's 10 million, the number. Okay. Those 10 million people that are coming here, are they rich?
No. The vast majority of them, I would say,
are
not.
poor, right? Okay, that they're coming here. Who does that benefit? They're going to need jobs, right?
Them.
Right. And what are they willing to work for?
Oh, I think they're going to get exploited without a doubt if that's where you're going with it.
So let them on in. Let them on in. Who's going to clean your toilet, Donald Trump? Who's going to clean your toilet, Donald Trump? What is this, 10 years later? 10 years later, and he's making the same exact arguments. Pac-Man is very similar to Seder. I think Pac-Man has a little bit more honesty, but potentially even worse ideas. So yeah, I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen to the other.
Oh, I think they're going to get exploited without a doubt if that's where you're going with it.
Oh, so let me get this straight. So who do they benefit? Do they benefit larger corporations that get cheap labor?
The ones that are at the top of the inequality, the wealth inequality pie.
Benefit, yeah.
So let me get this straight.
Process.
So not only do you want to bring these people here, so knowing they will be exploited, but they will be exploited by the very companies and corporations that you fight against because of the wealth inequality. So why is it that you want them here? Because it's mean. It's mean if we don't.
Plants
oh my
and
God!
Whatnot. Oh, that's why I want them to have documents. Right? Let them come to the border.
So
give them documents.
Yeah.
So you just want an open border. If you're at the border, you get a document. So now you're not undocumented. That's an open border. Shout out to Avery. Welcome to the party that I hate, Sam. Don't we all? Welcome to the party. Guys, just a reminder, just a little reminder that $3 will add another 10 push-ups to this skinny, puny little motherfucker.
To have documents. Right? Let them come to the border. So give them documents so that they can get worker protections.
So then
I don't think PBD is horrible. I just think he's not great.
If that's the case, you know what that validates? Joe Biden and the Democratic policies are better for the billionaires than Trump's are because they brought in cheap labor, and that cheap labor helps who?
Look at his face. He's like, oh shit, I never even thought about this. How did you not ever think about this while you're pushing this exact policy?
Helps the rich.
When Clinton, I am in favor of a.
And so again, you just made a huge faux pas. And PBD points it out. And so instead of acknowledging that you just said some really fucking stupid shit, you're just going to keep talking about something else. It pisses me off to no end.
Helps who? Helps the rich.
When Clinton, I am in favor
and now
of a path to citizenship.
So now we're talking about a path to citizenship. Why? Why are we talking about that? We were just talking about how illegal immigration helps the corporations. The corporations that you are saying are so bad because of this wealth inequality. I'm a favorite path for nobody fucking asked you about a path to citizenship. We're asking about you the benefit of illegal immigrants.
The rich. When Clinton,
I am in favor of a path to citizenship.
Right on by.
And by the way, those 10 million people that came here illegally, give or take.
And that was in that bill that they suggested in the fall of 2023 that Trump said he didn't want because he wanted to keep it as an issue.
Who do those?
No, Nadia said he wants to tax everyone to death and give it all away to illegals. Yep. And it's this is a privileged position. These are the people who talk about privilege. You can't live in the real world and think this could be good. That doesn't track. Oh, my goodness. Funkmaster General with the $2 make you holler. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Guys, 2 more, and that's an extra 10 push-ups. I actually don't even want to do push-ups. So, you know what I mean? King Nirvana said she's very infuriating, like she gets paid to be. Who, Emma? Yep. That is her job. Unknown Atheist said what he would want is unsustainable minimum wages that would be paid. Bingo. Remember to parrot Dave Smith, who may have parroted from somebody else. I don't know, but I heard it from Dave Smith. Minimum wage is not a platform on which poor people stand. It is a barrier which they must overcome. If your work is only worth $3 an hour and the minimum wage is $15 an hour, well, guess what? You don't get a job. But you can start working somewhere for $3 an hour, and then in 6 months, you've got some experience. Hey, boss, can I get a raise? Now you're making $8 an hour. Then you go to a different spot, and now you're making $15 an hour. Or we could federally mandate a minimum wage, and everybody stays poor. That's what Sam wants. That's what Sam wants. You know, on and on. Free shit for everyone. Welcome to the USSA, the United Socialist States of America. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Fall of 2023.
Shout out again to Bunkmaster General for out-sponsoring himself. Very much appreciated, sir.
That Trump said he didn't want because he wanted to keep it as an issue.
Who do those 10 million people take jobs away from? Who do they take jobs away from?
Me.
I don't know that they take jobs.
Oh, really?
They took our job. They took our job. No, they take jobs away from lower class people. From people who don't have those not expensive. What was he saying? Those valuable skills, those high paying skills. So the poor minorities, not the white ones, not the white ones, of course, but the poor minorities, But let's give their jobs to somebody else. Oh my goodness, my man is going for the push-ups. He wants to torture me. He said, no pain, no gain. When you're right, you are right. When you're right, you're right. One more, guys, of any, does not even have to be $2. Any donation size, one more, that gets another 10 push-ups. Don't do it. Avery said, I find it fucking comical that these people say we should tax our own people to not help only, to help not only illegals, but other countries. Why don't we tax people like Sam to pay for them? Bingo. I like that. Equality is leaving us. No. You have a good one. She said, Patrick. PBD seems like a reasonable guy. He's definitely a reasonable guy. He can just be a little bit shady every now and then. Hey, I'm not wrong. I'm just uninformed. No, Sam's wrong. He's fully informed on how wrong he is. He's just doubled down, and it's become a dogmatic position that these things that I've been pushing on the majority report are right because everybody supports me and pays me to say these things. So they must be right. So when I go somewhere like PBD, then they're just wrong. They just don't get it. That's the mental gymnastics you have to do to be Sam Seder.
Take jobs away from. Who do they take jobs away from?
I don't know that they take jobs away from that many.
Really?
No.
Really?
There's just an infinite supply of jobs. Is there though?
In 20 years ago, we were told
20 years ago
that the lowest unemployment that it was possible to have with a functioning economy was what? Do you remember? It 2%? Was something like 6 to 8%.
What accent would you like me to start reading them in?
And now unemployment is at 4%. And so
it was lower than that before.
I continue.
You're not answering the question, though. Who do those people take jobs away from?
I have answered it. I think.
Nope, you haven't. And again, if somebody is presenting you with a question, and then even if you have answered the question, if they're saying, I didn't get the answer to your question, then assume that they're stupid for all it matters. If somebody's asking you a question and you're trying to have a good faith discussion, then answer the question. And if you're going to say, I already answered the question, then answer it again, because clearly the person's asking and they either didn't hear you or they're trying to get you to say the thing again, in which case they think it's a bad thing that you said. Stand on business. I already said they take it away from the poors, but That's okay because whatever. Stand on business.
I continue.
You're not answering the question though. Who do those people take jobs away from?
I have answered it. I think largely they don't take jobs away.
Oh,
from
they
people.
don't.
Of course,
Hang on.
Okay, fair enough. He did say that. I'm saying he knows how wrong he is. His audience just believes that if he is just uninformed, he's not really losing. So he just acts incompetent when he knows he's losing. Very interesting. Very interesting. I can see that. I don't know to be honest with you, I can't, if I try to think about your accent, I'm just thinking about, yo, I'm a bartender. I'm just thinking about that guy. I would have to hear your voice again.
I have answered it. I think largely they don't take jobs away.
Oh,
from
they
people.
don't.
Of course,
Hang on. Perfect. I love what you just said. You think they don't take jobs away from anybody. Perfect. So if we go and we look at when China started trading, let me make the point. When China came through and was able to bring labor to us, 1971, it was called the ping pong.
This is high school econ
agreement that they had where, we can send labor there, and labor at the time was 8 cents to 20 cents an hour, where for us minimum wage was $1.60. Then in 2001, when the Clinton policies helped China join the World Trade Organization, and at the time minimum wage in China was 20 cents to 50 cents, depending on different regions, and for us was $5.15. We lost 6 million manufacturing jobs, give or take the next 7 years. Michigan, you got Indiana, you got all these other places. Where did those jobs go to? Who did they replace? Who lost those jobs? What happened
all that
to Detroit?
manufacturing went to China.
That's right. So what do you think these 10 million people that come here, who are they going to take jobs away from? Americans who are here legally. Those jobs are going to go to somebody that's cheap labor.
Obviously. Who else would they go to? Who else would they go to? If there's a job that needs to be filled and there's only Americans here, then Americans are going to fill the job. But if there's millions of non-citizens here, they're competing for the same jobs. This is not even economics. This is just arithmetic. This is just basic addition. If there's 10 jobs and there's 20 people, how many jobs can each person have? That's, you know what I mean.
Americans who are here legally, those jobs are going to go to somebody that's cheap labor.
That was the movement of capital. Capital decided that it was cheaper for them to move to
I'm specifically talking about last 4 years. So when you're saying...
Again, another deflection. Well, that was because of this. You're not acknowledging the fact that jobs are finite. And if there is a job opening and it doesn't go to... If it goes to an illegal immigrant, then it doesn't go to an American. That's just the long and short of it.
Labor is not going to be taken from people in America. That's the credibility you lose. That's where people in 2000... Rob, can you play the clip with Stephen A. Smith, who has been a staunch supporter of the Democratic Party for decades? And now Stephen A. Smith is being called as a member of MAGA. Rob, we can't play the whole thing. Can you go to the main part? Do you know the main part or no?
I do. Right after he reads this is when he responds.
Okay, let's see what he says, Rob. Go for it.
And so if you're not familiar, Stephen A. Smith here is mostly a sports commentator dude, but he does, wade into political waters. But, he's a typical kind of default black liberal, like, being black, heavily informing the fact that he is liberal.
He reads this is when he responds.
Okay, let's see what he says, Rob. Go for it.
Ms. Owens, Sean Hannity, and other prominent voices from the right on this podcast as reasons for his premise. Here's a portion of what he wrote on MSNBC.com in an article titled ESPN Stephen A. Smith is a megaphone for MAGA propaganda. What? Jones says, quote, Stephen A. Smith's embrace of the MAGA movement and its influencers has only continued. In recent days, for example, he has spoken with right-wing commentators Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, and Bill O'Reilly. You might be thinking that these were adversarial chats between a left-leaning centrist and a conservative. But to adroit listeners, they can come across more as conservatives in friendly discussion than anything else. Smith's overt politicism seems to fly in the face of ESPN's apparent effort in recent years to deter some of its talent from speaking on controversial political matters. Either way, the network's most recognizable host is now regularly platforming MAGA propaganda at will. End quote. Now,
if you're not with us, you're against us. That's the wokeness that you that still exists. While we may not be seeing Dylan Mulvaney all over the place, wokeness absolutely still exists in the form of, if you're not with us, you're against us. You must agree with every aspect of what we say. Otherwise, you're not really believing the things that you believe.
My team reached out to Jones to have a discussion about the article. I wanted to invite him on the show to talk with me one-on-one personally. I hope we get the opportunity to have that dialogue. He was busy. He didn't avoid the call or anything like that. There was no comment or anything like that. He didn't say anything. He was just very, very busy.
You're expecting this from Stephen A. Smith or the article that he read?
What we called it the last minute. No shade on him. That's why it didn't happen. But in the meantime, let me express to you what I think about what he wrote. I think that's the exact problem with the left. You see, if I don't agree with you, I must be MAGA. Bingo. It must be the case. I'm platforming MAGA propaganda. Is that so? I don't view it that way.
Neither do normal people. It's just called a conversation or a podcast.
First of all, even though I lean left, particularly with how I vote with presidential elections, I want to emphasize that I've always been a centrist my entire life. I've never once described myself as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a centrist. I'm a moderate. I don't trust either side. I'm not on one side or the other, hook, line, or sinker. You will see images or you'll hear me rattle off names of people who've been on this show. Yes, you see Ben Shapiro there. Yes, you see Bill O'Reilly there. Yes, I was recently on Megyn Kelly's show. Did you know I'm on News Nation with Chris Cuomo every week? What? Did you know that I just appeared with Jake Tapper on CNN? Oh, do you know I've been on MSNBC on several occasions? Do you know?
You can pause.
Yeah, Sean.
So, do you know what happens when a guy like Stephen A. Smith, he said he's always voted left when it comes down to presidential candidates that he has. So he's not a guy that voted for Trump, right? When a guy like him comes out.
Funkmaster General said anybody else gets slightly offended when someone calls you a Republican because you voted for Trump. Yes. Yes. I am not a Republican. I have never been a Republican. For a while, I was not fighting off the label of conservative because in the place that the culture war was at, it really was conservative versus liberal, woke versus non-woke. So I let it fly for a while. But now as things are changing, I'm right there with you. Not a Republican, not a conservative. I am a dissident liberal, formal liberal, on the dissident right, center right, libertarian right, whatever you want to call it. Not a Republican. Here, so they take away your black card, which is messed up. Gotta keep that shit. Gotta keep that shit. Like I said, looks like the left left him a story as old as 2016. Bingo. Shout out to Brandon Straka. Shout out to Brandon Straka. And guys, we just crossed 10 minutes. 10 minutes left. $1. $1 will get us another 10 push-ups.
So he's not a guy that voted for Trump, right? When a guy like him comes out and he says, what the hell is going on with the Democratic Party?
Is that what he's saying there?
Oh, he said it many.
Yes, Sam. That was the subtext. It's weird that you're saying that I'm MAGA because I'm talking to people who aren't necessarily anti-MAGA. That was the subtext. Do we understand now, Sam? Or shall I explain it in a simpler term?
What the hell is going on with the Democratic Party?
Is that what he's saying there?
Oh, he said it many. You must not follow what he says because he has said that nonstop the last 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, that's not the only time he's uttered things like that.
I don't follow it.
You should. He's actually very good. He's
of
reasonable.
Course
It
you
would
don't.
be good for you to watch. I like his approach. I think he's
echo chamber.
Say,
do you guys identify as MAGA?
No. No.
You guys,
I do. Dilly to MAGA. Fuck the GOP. Fuck Republicans. And, you know, conservatives can be whatever. Just, I'm not one of them.
Here's my question. Can I ask a question?
He seems to think it's an insult.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make America great again? It should.
No, it's... You seem to think it's an insult. If you like MAGA, just be MAGA. No, it's about accuracy. It's about accuracy. These labels have meanings. They may be fluid and they may be changing. But these labels have meanings and they have practical use to be able to understand, are you MAGA? If you say you're MAGA versus no, but I think I see some certain thing. That's a shorthand to a lot of other ideas. Is it enough to say, oh, okay, now I know everything that you think? No. But it is a shorthand to be able to discuss whatever you want to discuss without having to go through, okay, well, what do you think about abortion? What do you think about the trans? What do you think about taxes? What do you think about the tariffs? That's why we do this.
Here's my question. Can I ask a question?
But he seems to think it's an insult.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Make America great again. It shouldn't be if you want to make America great again, I'm all in. Call me MAGA all freaking day.
I'm MAGA. I'm MAGA. I'm MAGA. I just want to make America great.
He seems to take it as an insult.
No, I am America first. I'm America first.
Right.
I voted.
He's not taking it as an insult. He's taking it as, no, this is not correct. In the same way that if you said, Lutch is a really tall guy, I would certainly not be offended by that. It's just not true. It's just not true. I know truth doesn't really matter to you guys, but for normal people, it does.
I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted for him 2020. In 2022, when people were leaving to the DeSantis camp, I stayed on the Trump camp. Yep. I've never been off that camp. He's the right guy for America, and I've been a registered independent now for about 17 years.
What do you think about these tariffs?
No, stay on this topic here with Stephen. We'll go to tariffs next. We'll go
deflection.
Some guy from I've never heard of from.
I've never heard of Stephen A. Smith.
No, the guy.
You've never. I don't watch sports. There was a few years where I was really into UFC. I mean, when I was in like 8th, 9th grade, my my high school girlfriend, her family was big Jets and Mets fans. I never really got into baseball at all, but I was a pretty big football fan for a while. And then, with Akon and all that stuff, that was a pretty big part of my life. But, after that, all my football friends, we kind of went our own ways. And I know who Stephen A. Smith is. How do you not know who Stephen A. Smith is? Especially if you're in the political world, because of the fact that he's not a political guy, but he is very famous and then has waded into politics. I don't get it. Either you don't know, or like Guamtech said, if you feign ignorance, then you're not wrong. Guamtech said, I would have asked Sam what his take on that clip was. Was he just not listening, or does he not really understand the concept? Again, to your point, he understands exactly what happens, but he is playing dumb so that he can get away from engaging with any of the points.
Guy who wrote the
thank God.
About him.
Yeah, but what do you think about Stephen A? What he's been talking about lately with the Democratic Party?
He's a centrist. I don't have to subscribe.
He's a label, so I don't have to listen to him. That's wokeness. He's a trans. I don't have to listen to him. He's a black. I don't have to listen to him. He's a Jew. I don't need to listen to him. Left, right, or center, that is wokeness.
What he's been talking about lately with the Democratic Party.
He's a centrist.
5 minutes left, guys. 5 minutes left on the swole goal. $1 will do it.
I don't have to subscribe to
99
what
cents.
A centrist perspective. I mean, he's a centrist, like Gavin Newsom is a centrist.
Gavin Newsom is a centrist.
Gavin Newsom is saying the exact same.
Gavin Newsom is a centrist. Well, Gavin Newsom was a centrist on his podcast when Charlie Kirk was there. But again, fuck principles, only positions.
Same thing as Stephen A. Smith.
And Vinny was like, did you say he's a centrist?
Gavin Newsom is a centrist.
Gavin Newsom is saying the exact same thing as Stephen A. Smith.
How? Do you realize his progressive policies have been a disaster?
Okay, I mean, so that's
he's a centrist as of a week ago when he realized progressiveness is horrible.
Maybe it's
exactly. Adam said exactly what I was saying. He was a centrist a week ago when he was talking to Charlie Kirk. Hey, King Nirvana! Thank you so very much, sir. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the game. That is now 20 Swole Stream push-ups. When we are done here, my arms are going to hurt. Oh, man. Why did you have to do it to me? Thank you, brother. Very much appreciated. Guamtech said, doesn't he like Gavin Newsom? I thought that's what he said. I'm bringing it back to goal. Of course, it doesn't show up here, so I want to pick a different one. But either way, I love it. I love it. Let's try to bring that back. Can we try to do that again? Can we try to do it again? Pick I still think we should pick one that shows up here so that people are more inclined to use it. But, let's have, whether it's a goal or something else, that means, I support that. We have our own little shorthand. You know what I mean? That would make me feel really cool. Anyway, thank you so very much, King Nirvana, and everybody else who donated to 20 Swole Stream push-ups, and, of course, Morty's peanut butter. He's going to be loving that all night, guys. Thank you so very much. Do not let me forget.
I mean, so that's
he's a centrist as of a week ago. We realized progressiveness is horrible.
Maybe it's
Come on,
because
Sam.
That's an interesting sentence. You always beat me to the Jew.
What?
Out of context clip. I think I want to post this and see, what do you think was the conversation around this comment?
Sam.
Maybe it's like
I just, you don't understand. You guys don't seem to understand.
Bizarro world.
I have a set of politics. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith does.
You don't care what anybody says. All you care about is what makes you money.
I don't care what Gavin Newsom does.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So you're rigid. You're not changing anything.
It's not a question of I'm rigid and I'm not changing anything. Like
I just don't care about any of this. I don't care about anything. I don't care if things go this way or things go that way. As long as I can have my life the way it is, and people pay me to say the same things I've been saying for the last 15 years, that's all I care about. When people tell you who they are, fucking believe them.
There are specifics, like, over time, I have had a different perspective on the deficit over the past 20 years and understood it in a different way.
You become more liberal over the last 20 years. You become more of a leftist and progressive.
You got to be more malleable.
I would say
you got to be more malleable,
extent, I mean, to the extent, like, I don't, like, you guys have these, like, labels that you like to use, and there's some
like
type of a gradation.
Yeah.
But
here's the wokeness, semantic obfuscation, using the fact that a label already exists to undercut the argument that you are part of that label.
You guys have these, like, labels that you like to use, and there's some
Like
type of a gradation.
Yeah.
But
Labels.
I've always been
I've
always been about where I am in terms of taxation, but I am for a little bit more decommodification probably than I was 20 years ago.
So and all I'm saying here before we go, look, I'm going to go to the audience. Audience, we're coming to you here in a second to go through some of the stories here.
Why we're going to talk about tariffs?
We're going to talk about whatever stories we go through. But the one thing we did learn here.
Wait, the guys, there we go. All of those work. Let's go one more line here. Oh, I can't. We'll do both. We'll do both lines. So between all of these that work, let's agree on one that means good. I like the game over that we have in this one for bad. And then we see a couple of those don't work. So I'll keep throwing these up, but you guys make the decision. It would honestly, a moment of vulnerability, it would make me feel so cool if when we were just talking the same way Guamsek did this with the goal, but one that actually shows up and then game over or another one for bad, it would make me feel really cool. I know that's kind of cringe, but I don't care.
Oh, wait, we're going to talk about tariffs?
We're going to talk about whatever stories we go through. But the one thing we did learn here with you is...
Let's keep game over for bad. Like, if I have a bad take or somebody else has a bad take, game over. And then pick one of these. That means good.
America grew up the last 4 years.
I like the green one.
I'm sorry about that.
America grew up the last 4 years. Many Democrats grew up. Every state became more Republican because of the horrible policies on the left. Whether it was how they handled COVID, what they did with our kids, how they handle people that didn't want to take the vaccine.
What they did with our kids and what they did to our kids.
And people were fed up. And they voted for a guy who had already been president for 4 years. So it's not like they said they want something new. They said, no, we wouldn't go back to the guy previous to that guy. That is the biggest black eye to Obama, to Kamala, to Democrats, to everybody on the left, when they went back to the guy that they said they didn't want 4 years later, saying, it's like an ex coming back and saying, babe, I messed up. I should have never gone with the other guy. You were my guy. Or guy, babe, I screwed up. I should have never left you for the other girl. I'm sorry.
So King Nirvana likes the GOAT one for good. And we got game over for bad. Anybody agree, disagree, have any other thoughts?
With the other didn't want 4 years later saying, It's like an ex coming back and saying, babe, I messed up. I should have never gone with the other guy. You were my guy. Or guy, babe, I screwed up. I should have never left you for the other girl. I'm such a dummy. Please, Trump, come back. That's what America did.
Yup.
And a guy like you,
and again, I didn't vote for Trump in 2020, but I could not wait to vote for him in 2024.
Not a big fan of Obama's, and I'm not a big fan of Harris's either.
I'm not a big fan of anything. Again, this is how he positions himself as never being wrong. Again, Guanteki brought up a great point about how if he doesn't take a position, he can't be wrong. But the other aspect is, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, I don't like anything. All of these people are doing it wrong. Well, then you don't have to actually say, well, you don't have to stand on business. What is something that you do like? What is something that you do like?
I'm not a big fan of Obama's, and I'm not a big fan of
It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Mods, I'm looking at you.
But the point is, you still haven't graduated Sanders. That's like 7th grade. The people that follow Sanders and AOC are in 7th grade, 8th grade. Their heroes are in high school.
There you go. Now we're fucking thinking.
The people that follow Sanders and AOC are in 7th grade, 8th grade. Their heroes are in high school. Your philosophies are popular in high schools, not with adults. The policies that you support are high school policies.
Popular when I was in high school.
Yeah, they did he say they weren't popular?
High schools, not with adults. The policies that you support are high school policies.
Popular when I was in high school.
Oh,
right. Because when you were in high school, it was a completely different political landscape. So, what was that show with Michael J. Fox where I didn't even really watch it, but was it Three's Company or whatever? But his parents were like hippies, and he was like this young Republican. That was when Sam Seder was in high school.
Not with adults. The policies that you support are high school policies.
Popular when I was in high school.
Oh, are you kidding me? Karl Marx was a hero in kids that went to high school because teachers were feeding the Karl Marx stuff.
I went to high school. Ronald Reagan was president. I can assure you that, and the wall still existed, and there was fear of communism, and that socialism was barely ever expressed.
You're a step away from communism. Like socialism is a step away from communism. That's kind of where you're.
Yep. I think one way is use the one that you like and see if other people pick up on it, and whatever the crowd picks, then we'll just go with it. So if you like these, use these. I honestly do like the GOAT for, not only for severance purposes, but, goated, the GOAT makes sense.
You're right. You're right there saying, guys, I don't want to fully publicly say I'm a communist. I'll stay in this room.
No, I'm not. I'm not even. I don't even identify as a socialist either.
You're a progressive, though.
I'm just not. No, I don't like progressives. I don't like socialists. I don't like communists. I don't like capitalists. I don't like Republicans. I don't like Democrats. I don't like progressives. I'm just me, and I'm better at everything.
I would say I'm a progressive.
So what's right of progressive? What's left of progressive? I know you're not big on labels, but
family ties.
What's right and left of
I'm probably a social democrat. So I would say there is a certain amount of society where I believe we do not need the private market to deliver it. It is less efficient. So when it comes to health insurance, we have already in this country 1/3, maybe a little more actually, on some form of government health insurance.
A rose by any other name. I don't know the rest of the line, but point being, a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose. A socialist is a socialist is a socialist is a socialist.
VA is actually government healthcare. The doctors work for the government. And that is actually gets very, very high.
And
marks.
all I hear is good things about the VA. The VA, everybody loves
high marks.
No,
the healthcare does. Yeah.
Vinny, you go to the VA. Who?
No, it doesn't. Where is anybody? I know somebody here has been in the military. Please give me some personal experience with the VA. Please.
Ooh, that's 100% false. I get the worst service from the VA. And I'm a veteran and he's a veteran. He doesn't go to the VA. I go to the VA. I called yesterday just to make an example in our work area.
I'm trusting this with you guys, especially my mods. I'm trusting you guys to set the tone.
Nobody's picking up the phone for me to get an appointment. Zero. And when you go there, it's the most depressing thing.
But the good news is when you go to get your to the DMV, the driver's license, that's great service.
That's right. No, that's the best. Yeah, that's the best. No, the VA is not good.
The states run the DMVs.
Really the other question, I'm not denying that I'm sure many people have been helped by the VA. I'm sure many veterans have been helped by the VA. But I think when we ask the question, would the private sector do it better or worse, he would have to be like, better, obviously. Obviously. I'm just saying, turtle shell for good and skunk for bad. All right. Again, it's up to you guys. Whatever one you guys populate, it will catch on. But I need you to do it. I need you to stick with it. Jimana said, I want one for dogma and semantic obfuscation. And is it though? Up to you guys. Up to you guys. You guys have the power. I do not have the power. I already tried to be like, let's do this. Let's do that. It's not up to me. It's up to you guys. Especially the ones who are here on the regular. There you go. There you go. There you go. Is it though?
I experienced at the DMV. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but would it be better by a... Because I agree. I mean, I've had very few bad experiences with the DMV. But the question, of course, is would the private sector be better? And the answer is obviously.
Respectfully, there's one thing you said. There's one thing you said. You said the private market is less efficient. We can look at 250 years of government and everything we've got here. I just can't get
what's
past
the administrative cost for Medicare?
And if that's your,
what's the administrative cost for Medicare?
Hang on. If that's your one of your foundational beliefs that the private markets will be less efficient, then it's no.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. God damn it. I like that one, but. You know,
wonder you where you are. I'm not going to pick on it. If that's your foundational
what
belief,
is the administrative cost for Medicare?
Tell us.
2 to 3 cents of every dollar Medicare is spent on.
How is that relevant to what was just being talked about? Why do people in general? Why do people let people do this? You guys, especially if you're in the after party. Oh man. If you guys are in the after party, you definitely know that this really is a pet peeve for me. And if that happens, it'd be like, hold on. I just said this and you said that. Can we acknowledge before we move on to the next statement that you're walking back whatever you said? Not because I need to be like, tell me I'm right, but because it's disrespectful to act like you're not wrong. You good? Cleaned out. Cleaned out. You guys did that. You guys did that.
Tell us.
2 to 3 cents of every.
One more super chat, and I'll give him the cap. One more of any dollar. Let's see. Oh no. It seems like I don't know. Is that further down the list? It seems like maybe the ones at the top are more thing. You know what I mean?
Cost for Medicare.
Wait. Oh no, yeah, we need to back that up.
Believes that the private markets will be less efficient, then it's no.
So he's making the claim the private markets will be less efficient. So that's what we're talking about.
Wonder you where you are. I'm not going to pick on it. If that's your foundational
what
belief,
is the administrative cost for Medicare?
Tell us.
So now we're talking about the administrative cost for Medicare.
2 to 3 cents of every dollar Medicare is spent on administrative costs. In the private health
administrative
insurance,
defined as what? You got to be careful. I got to be careful.
Semantics.
Careful when I hear things like that, because guess what? You go back and you look at what?
That one I love. Dilly to that. Dilly to that. Please, guys. Please let this catch on. I know it's cringe to beg, but I just honestly want this to happen.
You got to be careful. I got to be careful when I hear things like that, because guess what? You go back and you look at, well, I was only counting this. I'm not counting this. It's like the same way.
You have a dollar.
Same way your side would count unemployment and come out later and readjust all the stats. 97 to 98 cents actually goes to paying Medicare providers, doctors. We're going to move on. We're going to move on because your core tenet that the private markets are less efficient is wrong.
17 cents on every dollar.
We can't discuss
because
anything.
They're paying for.
If I just keep talking like this and I keep saying this to piss people off and they get pissed off, but I stay calm, then when I play this for my audience, then they're going to think that I'm winning.
Advertising, they're paying for shareholder value, et cetera, et cetera. So for every dollar you spend, and on top of which, anybody who has private health insurance who deals with it themselves knows it's like having a second job just to either get reimbursed or you get to figure out every year when you re-sign up, is my doctor in or out of the program? It's a mess.
I think he was saying the little chick is cute, but either way, I'm sure you're cute too.
It's a
Well,
disaster.
Medicare is so good and so wonderful.
People
Why was
love Medicare.
MedSup and Medicare Advantage invented? It's so good, Medicare.
Because
It's
the
everything
Republicans
for you.
wanted to privatize it, and
Right, because it sucks. The government sucks at doing everything. So privatizing means making it better. Just use that as a shorthand in your mind. Moving a government function to the private sector just means making it more efficient.
Oh,
it is
really? I don't get drug
understood
benefits.
that
Okay.
Medicare Advantage is the worst part of Medicare, and people get sucked into it and they find out that they've been hoodwinked.
What? Care to explain?
I mean, these are all easily found data points.
Sam,
Okay, so explain it to us.
did you fly here?
Yeah.
Did you go through TSA? Did you go through TSA pre-check? Did you go through Clear? What'd you go through?
On the way here, my TSA pre-check was not on the thing, so I just went.
It's messed up. You paid for it though, right?
Yeah, it was $60 for the TSA.
No, I'm saying, but you pay. I think it was like a $500 or $100 for 5 years for a TSA pre-check.
TSA pre-check, I think, is $65 for 5 years.
That's amazing. It's a great deal. Why don't you do Clear?
I don't want to do a private company.
TSA pre-check is basically like a public-private.
Bro, what the fuck did you just say? What the fuck did you just say? I'm going to pay into TSA. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know what to do with that.
TSA pre-check, I think, is $65 for 5 years.
That's amazing. It's a great deal. Why don't you do Clear?
I don't want to do a private company.
TSA.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't want to deal with a private company. Do you not deal with private companies in your everyday goddamn life? That's the thing you say to virtue signal. That's the thing you say to virtue signal. Okay, we got one of them.
It's a great deal. Why don't you do Clear?
I do like that. The bad faith for the green guy with no face. But yeah, play around with them, guys.
Private company.
TSA pre-check is basically like a public-private partnership.
No,
where you pay a
TSA
little bit more.
pre-check is TSA pre-check
you
is
pay
the government.
You pay a little bit more.
Adam,
I'm not going to give my biometrics
he
to Clear.
looks at.
I'm not going to give my biometrics to a company, but the government? Sure. What is your thought process? You said, why do they let Adam talk? I mean, in general, sometimes I'm like, oh, Adam, but he hasn't said anything. What makes you say this? He hasn't said anything that crazy tonight. And I mean, he's helping making Sam look like a fucking moron.
Government.
You pay a little bit more.
Adam,
I'm not going to give my biometrics to Clear.
Looks at private companies and he frowns upon private companies.
Is that what's going on? Because
that's all it is.
Oh, I didn't fully understand. Okay.
He literally just said, I don't want to give my information to a private company.
I'm not going to give my money to a private company.
And
so just so you know, and that's just
you own and run one.
Yeah. So let's go to the next story with Terry.
You own and run one, but everybody else.
Can we stay there for a second, please? You don't want to give money to a private company, but you are a private company.
I don't
You're
want to
trying
give
make
my
money.
biometric information to a private company.
You're using a
or your dollars.
What about just private companies
I'm
in general?
happily fine with TSA pre-check.
We already got it.
That's a good one for the reminders for the rest of the chat.
I'm moving.
Let's
Adam,
move on. Okay, I'm learning.
I'm moving on.
I'm
No,
learning.
I already learned. I understand.
Gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
great. So we know what the argument is.
Progressive.
We want 1 million people to
All
support the
right,
future looks like.
guys. So that is the clips from the the second most recent episode of the PBD podcast with our boy Sam Seder. He is an interesting person. He is an interesting person, to say the least. Before we go, I do want to show you one little thing. I thought, I remember that he talked about tariffs. I thought they brought it up a little bit more. But let's take a little look before we go and before the push-up. That's funny. That is funny. Yes, we definitely got to do push-ups. Context of Sam has been on a roll lately, just not the kind that's respectable. Agreed. little bit about tariffs from Nancy Pelosi in 1996.
Attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of you each and every one of us to endorse today.
Endorse tariffs? No, Nancy, come on. What are you, MAGA?
Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now.
Still at the heavies.
In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%.
2%.
Whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%.
That's more than 10 times.
Reciprocal?
That's not
on
reciprocal.
Exports, China only allows certain.
She used the word. Is that reciprocal? Is that reciprocal?
MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%.
That's more than 10 times.
Reciprocal?
That's not
on
reciprocal.
Exports, China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we.
Oh my goodness, 33%, 35%, when only 2%. I mean, if only somebody was trying to fix this.
Have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all.
Agreed.
Yup.
Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically.
Is she trying to help Trump with this? No. She was accidentally being honest before she realized. This is Nancy Pelosi before she was Nancy Pelosi for the most part. Oh man, do we get that? Just fucking around there. Buchok said, "Do you ever watch the China Show? It's great. No, I've never heard of the China Show. What is the China Show? I'll take a look. We'll take a look. We got some time here. Oh.
But China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president, in his statement, requesting this special waiver, said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States.
But of course, over the last 30 years, what we're not hearing from this video is how money doesn't work the same anymore. So these are this is my brilliant sarcastic remark.
Trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States.
But of course, over the last 30 years, what we're not hearing from this video is how money doesn't work the same anymore. So these ideas are no longer relevant. Lutch, are you sure that's correct? I don't think that's true. Oh, he was being sarcastic. Got it. The same anymore. So these ideas are no longer relevant, he said sarcastically.
70,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser. And one of the reasons that it is because first let me just make another point, and that is...
Another point. You haven't made enough points about how good tariffs are and how bad the exchange is. So let's let her make another point.
Is because first let me just make another point, and that is that our colleagues on the other side of this issue will say the trade with China, exports to China have increased 3 times in the last 10 years. They have. But they fail to mention that imports from China have increased 11 times, thereby leading to this huge trade deficit. I'd like to call...
I mean, Nancy said it all 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Okay, it was 29. 30 years ago. But Chuck said the China Show is a podcast by 2 Western dudes that lived in China for 10 years and traveled all over. They have great intel on Chinese news and shenanigans. Oh, you guys all know about this. All right, so let's see. The China show. Just gonna put on their most recent thing. Oh, they all long things. All right, so I'm gonna put their most recent one, and I'm just gonna skip to a part. Let's see what we got.
I like how it also made their heads very tiny. Look at the grandpa's head.
Yeah,
it's like you know the Goombas in the real life Mario
What
movie.
we got?
Yeah, exactly.
The poor guy probably looks completely normal in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
He got beauty.
Anyway, we wanted for a long time. We've wanted to talk about the statue because it's the most absurd thing you've ever seen in your life.
You know what it is? It's this.
Yeah, it's like a dude at a gym bro in the mirror taking a photo, but it's flexing real hard. And then
it's Beethoven.
It basically looks like Beethoven. Okay. And people go wild over the statue.
Yeah.
People go there and take photos, and it's supposed to be Mao Zedong in his youth.
That's not what he looked like.
No, he looks nothing like that.
No.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we have some.
Okay, Blue Chunk said at the end of this episode, they explained Chinese tariffs, the Chinese tariff strategy rather well. Let's pick here.
/ADV podcasts to see it all.
Thank you very much. We'd love to see you there if you have the means. And now time to continue on with Worldview. Guys, we've got to talk about the tariffs. I know this is the biggest topic on it.
Can I get a dilly for that fucking sniping of the time? This is empty. Well, sniped that timestamp.
Everyone's mind at the moment.
It is, but I wanted to spice things up a little bit.
Speed it up
Because there is a weird law that has been enacted, which kind of makes sense. But the U.S. government is banning personnel in China from romantic or sexual relations with Chinese citizens. I'll tell you why. What? There have been a spat of people that have been compromised by.
I like you too, brother. Always a pleasure to have you guys here.
Chinese spies.
What's a honeypot? The honeypot scams, and it's so common. It's something that the Chinese government absolutely does.
Oh yes.
What they do is
like the Soviets used to do.
Yeah, it's the same deal. What they'll try to do is get diplomats or anyone with any kind of political power or inside information. They get them into compromising positions. So or
even relationships.
Yeah, I mean, if the relationship is exactly. Or they'll get them into they'll be seduced and taken somewhere, and it's videotaped, and then they're blackmailed.
Show it to your wife or whatever.
Exactly. Or
they Epstein them.
You know, they get them, find someone who's into some kinky thing, and then, then they blackmail them. Either way, it's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's happened here in the States where Chinese spies have come and done the whole honey trap thing. They've actually tried to honey trap me at one point.
They did. You made a video about it.
Yeah, I did. I made a video about it where they send all these messages, try to get me to go to a hotel somewhere, here in America to try and trap me and so on. I'm like,
who knows what it was?
Yeah.
Like it was leading to
absolutely.
That. And you're like, I'm going to document this and make a video. Great content.
Yeah, exactly. And it was good content.
I've been there.
Anyway, the fact of the matter.
Not in China. Just, this is good content.
This is, I'm pretty sure, a law that exists from many countries, not just America.
Yes, I think this is a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
But it's something that people are talking about. And it does look like we're kind of gearing up to have a more serious take on China because China has kind of run free in America for a long time now.
Yes.
People are now saying, you know what, this is an issue. Moving on, though.
Yes.
Got a lot of news today. So let's get through it.
Let's do it.
This is just, I mean, if you want to talk about a country being unprofessional and being just a little douche.
Dude, okay, all right.
Approach this.
What it says in the official China Central TV News, released this on their Weibo. It's like a war thing where they have footage of planes and like, let's blow up Taiwan and stuff. And then they put the characters, vaginal penetration is what it says.
Pardon?
If you want to,
the Chinese government on CCTV,
we're going to F you basically.
Wrote vaginal penetration, but more crass actually. It says enter pussy. It is what it says.
I mean, come on.
Over a map of Taiwan.
That is the Chinese state media put that out. Okay. I know we're living in a bit of a crazy world right now where politicians these days are kind of childish, but this is China's usual level of childishness.
This is just nuts, though. Can we rein it in a little bit, guys? China. Let's be a little more professional. I know you're trying to invade Taiwan, a sovereign country, but can we rein it in a little bit? Can we not say enter pussy?
Yeah, stop being such stupid little immature twats.
I know.
Is it like an invitation like try it pussy? Like enter pussy? Or I don't don't get the message.
And I'm singing it to Enter Sandman in my head. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, but yeah, they put their, these are the war plans and stuff. They've been
pushing
Taiwan.
They've been pushing this.
In fact, it's been kind of interesting. I just wanted to it's not a movie poster, guys.
No.
This is really what state media put out.
Yeah, Chinese state put this out.
I just can't believe it.
And so I will use this opportunity as we're talking about Chinese propaganda, putting out Enter Pussy, while TikTok may be originally a Chinese company that is owned by a Singaporean senator, and based in America. You ban TikTok and you get people on Red Note. If you have not heard of Red Note, it is the actual CCP version of TikTok, and it is not like TikTok. I believe TikTok will save this country if we allow it to flourish. Fight me on it. So if you really want to get grossed out, look up Chinese gutter oil. We will save that for the after party. So if you are not a member, make sure you join the membership so that you can come and join the after party. Again, guys, it is absolutely free to join the Discord. That link is at the top of the chat. I just dropped the link. Nothing. Just dropped the link here to become a member. It starts at just $2.99 a month, guys. That is 12 after parties, if not more. We got movie nights. You got extra channels. Our watch party channel where I'm always updating, stuff that I'm watching that we can talk about, stuff other than politics. Trust me, it is fucking worth it. In the worst case scenario, you spend half the money for a cup of coffee. You get 12 after parties, an entire month of hanging out with the full access. If you don't like it, you just cancel, and you are still part of the free chat. So come on through, guys. I really think you'll enjoy it. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Discord member and you're enjoying it. Don't fuck around right now. Guys, I really do appreciate every single moment that you are spending here with me. I know that it's a Friday night. You could be out getting shit-faced. You could be picking up girls. You could be doing whatever you want. Yet you are here hanging out with me, getting Morty his peanut butter, getting him treats, getting me to do all these fucking push-ups. I appreciate it so very, very much, guys. I really, really do. And let's give a big shout out to all of the donations. We had Holly coming in hot. TV Viewerski with a PayPal. We had Arrow. Gabriel with a $5, and then $2, and then for the bars, Holly came back again. We had King hitting the goal at the end and giving us my favorite emoji for the "Is it though?" And of course, our boy Funk Master General sponsoring the stream as he always does, not just with donations for me, but gifted memberships for you guys. I can't tell you how much I really, really do appreciate it. So you guys know what time it is. It's time for some push-ups. Who else is going to pay themselves by doing some... Oh, we got a different song. Different song. Vibing to a different song. Time to get swole. If you're not a bitch, get down and do as many push-ups as you can. If you can't do 20, then do 10. If you can't do 10, then do 5. Either way, pay yourself. By being a man. 10. Here we go. 20. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, in the middle. Let's fucking go! Who paid themselves? Who paid themselves? That is how we do it. And that is how it's done. That is how it's done. Thank you, guys, so very much. You see how puny I am. You see how little I am. I'm just a little baby boy. But with your help, I will bulk up. Whew. 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 What do we got? What else do we got here? Is it I'm going to say I only get Chinese food from 2 spots because I know the owners well. That is smart. That is how you do it. You got to go in, and if you can learn to speak Chinese, they will give you more food. They will give you more food just by speaking Chinese. And there's one place in New York. I don't remember exactly where it is. It is in New York, like in the city area, where if you go in and you speak Spanish, then they give you like twice as much food. So, you know, you got to know. Maybe that's a Northeast, East Coast, Jersey, New York thing, but that's how it works. That's how it works. Quantek said, my shoulder must be pretty healed. Got a full 20 in. Salute to you, sir, for paying your damn self. Hell yeah. Ni hao, ni hao. I don't know what that means, but ni hao. And King Nirvana, thank you so very, very much, guys. I appreciate you to know, and I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm very excited to continue talking to you guys in the after party. If you guys have enjoyed this, make sure you are subscribed. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit the subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever. Again, I try to drop videos every single day that I'm not streaming. Sometimes videos when I am streaming. It's all out there. Hit the bell and you will never miss. If you're in the Discord, you definitely will never miss, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, we got Morty here. Look at that. Look at that. He cleaned. Oh, where's the end? He cleaned it out. He cleaned it out. So the next time we have a peanut butter swoggle, I'm just going to cut the thing here and he's going to be able to get the rest. Thank you guys so very much. Let's head to the after party. Once again, guys, this has been Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.